Hey everyone, it's Erbo here, and today we're going to be diving into my own twist of a Dragon Ball What If. This one being, what if Monaito raised Kakarot? Now, before we start, I want to say a couple things. This is my first ever time writing a full Dragon Ball What If from scratch. So if you notice a few little inconsistencies or lore stretches here and there, that's my fault, I apologize. I'm still learning how to make these flow smoothly and have the lore slash story make sense. Also, just a heads up, even though we're sticking with Kakarot for most of the story, I might accidentally call him Goku time to time, which is just a force of habit. But with all that out of the way, we can get into the what if. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So how does Kakarot even land on planet Cereal? Well, we gotta go back to when Bardock was fighting the Heaters. Now, of course, some people aren't the biggest fan of Super Bardock and prefer Z Bardock in many ways. So what I'm going to do personally, like what Salad Sane does, for example, combine the two into one to fit certain lore in as well that'll make sense later on throughout this series. But now, without further ado, we can fully go into the what if now. The fight between Bardock and Gas has just ended, and Oleg angrily tells Bardock to look for a quote-unquote meteor anytime soon. Bardock doesn't entirely believe him, thinking he's just trying to scare him, but he keeps it in mind. Alec fully leaves, learning Frieza will be there shortly. Monaito runs up to Bardock, healing him, and Bardock tells Monaito what Alec said. Monaito tells him that if his planet is in any danger of destruction at all, that he can take care of Bardock and his family on planet Cereal. Bardock thanks him, but thinks Alec just said that to scare him a bit. Bardock thanks Monaito for everything before fully leaving, learning shortly after that Frieza has requested all Saiyans to come back to Planet Vegeta. Bardock, knowing he's stayed on Planet Cereal for far longer than usual, decides it's time he should finally leave. As Bardock is on his way back, he starts to think to himself, what's Frieza planning? Why does he want all Saiyans to return? Does he need them all to conquer a strong planet? For some sort of announcement? All these thoughts are crossing through Bardock's head even when he starts walking back to see Guinea. But while he's walking back to see Guinea, Beats interrupts him and asks Bardock what was taking him so long, to where Bardock explains everything besides him fighting the Heaters. Beats then says that there have been Frieza soldiers asking about the legend of the Super Saiyan. That's when it clicks for Bardock. That's it. He wants all Saiyans to destroy the planet with them along with it, so there's no chance of a Super Saiyan ever happening. Bardock doesn't say any of this out loud, but Beats can tell he has something on his mind. As he's about to ask Bardock, he starts to speedwalk towards Guinea. Bardock greets Guinea, and she can immediately tell something's wrong, so when she asks, Bardock tells her everything. Guinea, now showing concern on her face, asks Bardock what they should do. Bardock looks over at Kakarot in his pod, and remembers back to when Monaito said, if need be, he can take care of him and his family. Bardock tells Guinea that he wants to send Kakarot off the planet and fight against Frieza. Guinea, shocked at first, denies it, until Bardock convinces her more, to the point she finally agrees. Bardock says he's going to send Kakarot to a planet with a friendly Namekian and a sniper species. That planet being Planet Cereal, of course. Now, we don't know exactly how far Planet Cereal is, but I'll throw Bardock a bone and say Planet Cereal is closer to Planet Vegeta than Earth originally is. So, Bardock knows that in case Frieza ends up planning on destroying the planet, he can easily go and retrieve Kakarot and bring him back to Planet Vegeta. As night starts to cross, Bardock steals a Saiyan pod, and as he puts Kakarot in it, he puts some parting gifts in it, in case they never see each other again. An extra pair of Bardock's Saiyan armor that he doesn't use often, but wants Kakarot to wear when he's grown up enough to wear it. He then puts in a red bandana in the Saiyan pod next to him. Something Bardock wears often. Of course, in Z Bardock, we know this is a bandana that's red from blood from when he sees Tora and the others dead. But we'll just say that this time it's something Bardock has had for a while now. As Bardock closes the Saiyan pod, he says his final words to Kakarot to stay strong and grow up strong. Guinea kisses Kakarot on the forehead, crying, thinking she'll never see Kakarot again. As the Saiyan pod flies away, Guinea and Bardock hug each other, waving to Kakarot goodbye, knowing this just might be the last time they ever see each other again. As the pod leaves, Bardock tells Guinea that even though she isn't the biggest fan of fighting, she needs to get ready to rebel against Frieza. Guinea is shocked, but understands. They both fly back home, and Bardock runs into Tora. Tora asks Bardock where he was and that his squad needed to talk to him. Gine tells Bardock to go with Tora. She'll tell Raditz where Kakarot went. Tora is a bit confused on what Gine meant by where Kakarot went, but doesn't ask questions. As Tora and Bardock meet up with the rest of the squad, Tora realizes that something's off with Bardock. Ever since he came back from Planet Cereal, he's been avoiding them and acting strange. Bardock tells them everything, saving a mother and son, and meching on a different planet all alone, and the Heaters planning to betray Frieza. Bardock fighting Gas and winning even so. And last but not least, the feeling Frieza is going to end the Saiyans. Bardock's entire squad is shocked and don't believe him at first until they connect the dots. Frieza wants all Saiyans on the planet. Has soldiers asking about the Super Saiyan. It makes sense. That must be what's up. Shugesh speaks up and asks Bardock what they should do. Bardock says he'll try to talk to King Vegeta. Meanwhile, the rest of his squad should get the other Saiyans with him. They all agree and fly in different directions, getting Saiyans. As Fasha lands and talks to a group of Saiyans, she recognizes a Frieza soldier is looking at them a bit longer than usual. She tries to ignore it, but then the soldier comes up and asks what's going on. The other Saiyans say how Fasha is sounding crazy about Frieza wanting to destroy Planet Vegeta. Fasha, worried, looks at the soldier. The soldier looks at her and tells her that Frieza just has a huge announcement to make. As the soldier walks away, Fasha is scared for her life. She flies off trying to find Bardock. As she does, the soldier then clicks on his scouter, asking if Frieza heard the conversation. Frieza agrees and decides he needs to destroy the planet right now. Forget having Vegeta and the other Saiyans that are with him on Planet Vegeta. He can use them for later. It's time to set the plan in motion. Bardock bursts through the doors yelling for King Vegeta, but as he does, he realizes King Vegeta is dead, with Dodoria standing there smiling at Bardock. Dodoria claps for Bardock, congratulating him on finding out about Frieza wanting to kill all the Saiyans. Bardock does his best to fight Dodoria, but to no luck, he isn't strong enough. He's still not even fully healed from his fight with Gas, seeing that wasn't long ago. Dodoria, though, doesn't even kill him. He leaves him wanting to watch the destruction of his planet. As Bardock is on the ground, close to death, he says to Dodoria that death will come to Frieza eventually. Dodoria scoffs and says that his final words won't scare him. As Dodoria flies away, Bardock passes out. A few minutes pass by, but then he wakes up beside Borgos and Tora. Tora tells Bardock that Fasha and Shugesh are dead. Dodoria killed them, but luckily Tora and Borgos got away. Bardock tells them they need to fly to Frieza's ship and stop him, at no matter what cost. As they do, they see Frieza fly out of the ship in his pod. He looks at Bardock, taking note of how he looks. As he does, Bardock yells at Frieza, calling him a coward for killing the Saiyans. Aren't they useful for him? This ticks Frieza off a bit. Coward? No. What he's doing isn't cowardly at all. What he's doing is getting rid of a thorn on his side, that being the Saiyans. He's known ever since he was a kid and took over the Empire. The Saiyans never wanted to work with him, even his father. If the Saiyans were stronger, they would have quickly killed him. Frieza looks down at Bardock charging a huge ki ball. As he launches it towards Planet Vegeta, Bardock, Tora, and Borgos try their best and shoot their own ki beams, but to no avail, they get nowhere. All it does is simply hold it back for only a few seconds. As the ball gets closer and closer, Bardock apologizes to the Saiyans. He couldn't do anything else. As he's absorbed, he gets a sudden image in his head. It's himself, with golden hair, and Frieza, but he looks different. Bardock then realizes that's not himself, that's Kakarot. Bardock smirks, knowing the fate of Frieza as he slowly is turned into dust, along with Planet Vegeta. Frieza, watching it all go down, returns to his ship to tell Vegeta and the remaining Saiyans that are with him to tell them that the planet was destroyed by a meteor. As Vegeta gets the message, so do the Heaters. The Heaters laugh, knowing that the Saiyan that defeated Gas is dead. Gas, standing there hearing the news, feels like something is off. He's upset. Upset he wasn't able to finish the job himself. Upset he wasn't able to kill Bardock. Gas promises to himself that if he sees any remaining Saiyans, he'll kill them with ease. He won't hold back anymore. Not against Saiyans. Time goes by on Planet Cereal. Granola doesn't know though exactly what fully happened, but is now working for the Heaters. The Heaters are luckily off planet at the time. Monaito is outside enjoying the view, when suddenly he hears something in the sky. He looks up and sees a Saiyan pod. Monaito thinks this is Bardock who's returned, but what would he be back for? there's only one pod. No way his family could all fit in one pod. As the same pod lands in the distance, Monaito realizes that that's towards where Granola is training. He goes on over to the same pod. As he reaches the same pod, he then sees Granola pointing a ki blast at Kakarot as he's still in the same pod scared. Monaito yells at Granola to stop and put down his ki blast. As Granola does, he yells back at Monaito wondering why. Saiyans are the reason he's the last of his species. Monaito then tells Granola to move to the side as he looks at the pod thinking it's Bardock, until he takes a closer look and sees someone who looks like Bardock, but smaller. Monaito, confused, opens the same pod with Granola on guard. Kakarot jumps out of the pod and jumps back a little bit scared. Now, of course, most low-class Saiyans look the same, so Monaito, even if he did know, might think he would be a different low-class warrior, but Monaito doesn't know that. So he asks if he has a father. Kakarot agrees, and Monaito then asks if his father went by the name Bardock. Kakarot agrees again, and it finally clicks for Monaito. Bardock's hunch was right. Something happened to Planet Vegeta, and the planet is no more. Monaito asks Kakarot if he knows what happened to where he says he doesn't. He was sent here by his parents to grow up and get strong. Monaito now comes to the conclusion that Bardock is most likely dead. Granola in the back yells at Monaito, just what the hell is going on? Where Monaito tells Granola about Bardock and how he was a good Saiyan who spared him and his mother's life. Granola then yells back, if he spared him and his mother, then how did his mother die? Monaito, realizing, oh crap, he needs to figure out a different kind of lie to make Granola believe it on the spot, and says that another Saiyan was on the planet who killed his mother, and Bardock fought and defeated the evil Saiyan. Granola buys it for now, but he takes it with a grain of salt. Granola, still not trusting Kakarot, slightly lowers his guard, but still has one at least, and looks at Kakarot still. Angry, not as angry as he was when he first saw him. Monaito says that Bardock must have sent Kakarot here to live and grow up. Monaito welcomes Kakarot to Planet Cereal, but realizes something. What if the heaters stop by again? What would happen if they saw Kakarot here? Would they kill him along with Monaito and Granola, seeing how Kakarot looks exactly like Bardock? Monaito then decides that he's going to have to hide Kakarot for a long time until either the heaters stop coming back to Planet Cereal, they die, or Granola stops working for them. Monaito then starts walking back home, telling Kakarot and Granola to follow him. As they follow, Granola keeps giving Kakarot a menacing stare. Monaito can feel the tension, asking if Granola has anything to say, to where Granola then says he wants to fight Kakarot. Monaito turns back and is about to tell him no, but as soon as he's about to, Kakarot agrees and says that if he wins, Granola needs to accept the fact that he's living here now until further notice. Granola begrudgingly agrees to those terms, and they both run off to find a more open area to fight. Monaito, slightly annoyed, follows behind them and catches up to them, but as he catches them mid-fight already. Now, we don't know how strong Granola is at this age, but we'll just say that he and Kakarot are dead even in strength. Granola still doesn't know how to use his red eye, so that gives Kakarot the slight advantage and just barely defeats Granola. But as he does, he falls to the ground and barely mutters the words, he won the fight. Monaito then walks over and heals them both, and tells them what they did was stupid, and could have caught some unneeded attention that could have even got the heater's attention. But Granola and Kakarot both look at each other and laugh it off. Monaito's a bit annoyed, but glad to see them starting to get kind of along. As the years pass, Kakarot finally hits his growth spurt. He can finally wear his father's spare Saiyan armor that he gave him. As Kakarot steps out, wearing the Saiyan armor, all that Monaito can see is Bardock. Monaito even calls Kakarot Bardock at first when he steps out. Granola looks at Kakarot as well, remembering seeing Bardock before Monaito made him pass out. Granola, a little bit angered remembering that day, brushes it off a little bit. As Monaito is about to step outside and enjoy the view again, he sees the heater's ship landing to talk to Granola. Monaito yells at Kakarot to go and hide. Kakarot runs into another room and Monaito opens the door for the heaters, only to see it's Maki and Oil. They tell Monaito that they forgot to give Granola his payment for a recent job they did, but they take note that Monaito and Granola seem a bit nervous and keep looking back. They brush it off, but take note of how nervous they look. Anytime the heaters stopped by, Kakarot wasn't anywhere near the house. He would be off in the woods training with Granola. So they never really had to worry about it until now. Granola takes the payment and thanks them as he quickly closes the door. Maki and Oil, a bit annoyed, just think they finally went crazy living up on this hill by themselves. They decide to go fly back to Alec. Monaito and Granola breathe a sigh of relief as Kakarot opens the door and says he needs to pee. A week goes by. Monaito is watching Kakarot and Granola train together. Granola is starting to get slight control over his red eye to use for himself. Granola even bought a machine he can wear that can help his sniping, that being Oatmeal. Oatmeal then detects something in the sky. As all three look up in the sky, they recognize it's a Saiyan pod. All three are shocked. A Saiyan? But how? They should have all died on Planet Vegeta. Kakarot, now being able to sense Ki, feels like he's felt the Ki presence before, and it feels very familiar. As the Saiyan pod lands, Granola and Kakarot fly over to it to see a Saiyan with long hair, who looks at them both. This Saiyan, of course, being Raditz. Kakarot and Granola stand on guard as Raditz looks at them both. He looks over at Kakarot and tells him that it's nice to see his brother again. Kakarot and Granola are shocked, and Kakarot even denies it at first, until he remembers a slight memory of seeing Raditz looking at him when Kakarot was still in the pod on Planet Vegeta. Kakarot asks Raditz what he's doing here, and Raditz says he's here to take Kakarot the easy way or the hard way to help them and the other Saiyans out. Kakarot says he's not going anywhere as he gets fully on guard along with Granola. Raditz, annoyed, realizes he has no other choice but to kill the two, seeing that Kakarot, no matter what way, won't come with him. He turns on his scouter to scan their power level, and for Vegeta and Nappa to keep an eye on the fight also. A little surprised. Now, Kakarot doesn't have the same masters as he did before on Earth, but alongside someone like Granola, the two training, I'd feel it's a good combination. Kakarot's not going to be much stronger, and I'm just going to throw that Granola's just a bit weaker than Kakarot. Kakarot is at a power level of around 500, while Granola is at a power level of 450. As the two charge, Raditz realizes that if the two fight together, he might struggle a little bit, so he's going to need to try his best to separate the two. And with that, that's where we'll stop for today. What do you guys think of this What If? To continue, I'll set a like goal of just a measly 15 likes since this is just my first video and I doubt this will reach an audience. If we hit that goal, I'll continue with this series. With that out of the way, be sure to subscribe also, it helps out the channel a lot. Anyways, with all that out of the way, I'll see you guys next time. Last time, we left off on Granola and Kakarot about to fight Raditz. Raditz realizes he may have some trouble fighting them if they team up, so he decides he's going to fight them one-on-one. Welcome back to part 2 of What If MONAITO Raised Kakarot. Now, before we continue the fight between them, we need to go back a bit to how Vegeta and the remaining other Saiyans that were with them reacted to Planet Vegeta being destroyed by a meteor. Vegeta, Raditz, and Nappa, and two other Saiyans are off on a distant planet taking it over for Frieza. As they wrap up clearing out the planet, one of the random Saiyans receives a message from Frieza and his soldiers that Planet Vegeta has been destroyed and no Saiyans are left. Everyone is shocked, but Vegeta is a little bit suspicious. Frieza just called him back and suspiciously now the planet was destroyed and nothing. There's absolutely no way at all that Frieza calls them back, and conveniently enough, a meteor destroyed their planet. Vegeta brushes it off for now, but as Nappa and the two other Saiyans run over to Vegeta and Raditz, they ask about Vegeta's brother Carbol. Vegeta says he was just a weakling and could care less if he was dead. They then ask Raditz about his brother, and he remembers his mom mentioning about sending Kakarot to a planet called Planet Cereal. As the Saiyans start to talk things out, figure everything out, they figure it's best to return to Frieza for now and get more information from him there. As they write back, Raditz is thinking to himself, why send off Kakarot to Planet Cereal? When he can remember the planet is under the works of the Heaters. Before Raditz comes to a conclusion, he realizes he's at the Frieza Force. All of the Saiyans that were at Planet Vegeta go and meet Frieza. Frieza reclarifies and says that the planet was destroyed by a meteor. Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz are silent, then one of the Saiyans asks, are you sure it was a meteor? It's too weird that Frieza called the Saiyans Planet Vegeta, and then conveniently enough, the planet was destroyed soon after. Frieza then shoots a beam to that Saiyan, who falls to the ground. He then looks at the others and asks if they have any other dumb questions, to which they all say no. Frieza sends them all away to go to another planet, but as they holler, Raditz mentions to Vegeta and Nappa about his brother, but they just brush it off. Raditz is weaker than them, what difference would it make if Kakarot joined them? Yeah, it would be nice for another Saiyan on the team. They already saw it having one of their extra Saiyans. Years go by for the Saiyans, and their quote-unquote bond between the Frieza Force is getting thin. Raditz goes to Vegeta and Nappa one last time and mentions how useful Kakarot can be in the future. Look at how much they've grown in strength. Nappa snaps at Raditz saying no until Vegeta interrupts him mid-sentence to say that he can go and get Kakarot. But if he isn't strong enough, when they come back from a mission, he and Nappa are going to kill Raditz. Not only will they kill Kakarot, but Granola as well. But they don't know about Granola. Raditz now worried for his own prayers that Kakarot is strong. As Raditz goes to his pod to sit the corners for Planet Cereal, we fast forward back to the present. As Kakarot and Granola dash towards Raditz, he gets a bit nervous. They're both weaker than him. Together they may be an issue altogether. He decides he needs to separate the two, so he attacks Granola and kicks him away, focusing entirely on just Kakarot. Raditz then starts beating Kakarot with ease, not giving him a chance to fight back at all. As he gut punches Kakarot, he gets shot in the back. It doesn't do much, but it did catch him off guard a little bit. He sees Granola with a red eye and pointing his fingers at Raditz like a gun. As Raditz is about to use a ki blast of his own, he realizes his scouter is beaten. Granola's power went up to 650, but that's impossible. Was he hiding his power? Skylar then picks up a different power level. He looks behind him and sees Kakarot has a power level of 600? How are they doing this? Now, of course, Granola and Kakarot used ki control, but they didn't know how strong Raditz would be, so of course they held back a little bit. Granola's base power is around 550, but with his red eye, boosts it an additional 100. Of course, we don't know how much of a power boost it gave him during the manga, fighting Vegeta and Goku, but I'll tell him about. Besides, Granola then powers down, breathing a bit. Raditz sees this whilst fighting Kakarot, and he hits him away to focus on Granola. Granola isn't fully strong enough yet to hold on to his red eye boost for long, so he can only use it in short burst. Raditz punches Granola across the face as he's about to be thrown into a mountain. Kakarot then catches Granola. Kakarot tells Granola they need to stop Raditz from separating them, or else they just won't win at all. Granola says he has a plan. Kakarot just needs to hold Raditz down for a bit, for Granola to charge up the ki blast that he's going to use. Kakarot doubts he'll be able to do that at all. It says he's going to try his best. As Kakarot runs towards Raditz, Raditz scoffs as he hits Kakarot away and starts beating Kakarot to a rubble. Raditz is about to finish Kakarot off, but his scouter then goes off, and as he looks at Granola, he sees a ki blast. Raditz, a bit worried, at first goes all out and hits the ki blast away. Granola then breathes heavily and collapses. He doesn't get knocked down, but as he falls to the ground, he sees Raditz laying right in front of him. Raditz is about to finish Granola up until he hears Kakarot yell at him not to kill Granola. Raditz yells back at Kakarot wondering why, but Kakarot then starts negotiating with Raditz, taking him and Granola. Raditz saw it himself. Granola with his red eye gave him a boost, and Kakarot, of course due to Raditz coming here originally to take him. Raditz lowers down his guard and starts thinking to himself. They would be useful to take even though they're weaker, and if they train enough they can definitely get stronger. Plus, they still have time before Vegeta and Nappa return to the Frieza Force. They have about a month to train once they head back to the Frieza Force. Raditz finally agrees and tells him to get Kakarot's ship ready to go as he flies back to his pod. As Kakarot flies back to Granola, he hears someone yelling from a distance. It's MONAITO. He was hiding until now and heard everything. As he heals Kakarot and Granola, MONAITO and Granola ask Kakarot if he's sure about this. Kakarot says it was their only choice. It was either that, or them and this planet are done for. Granola and MONAITO then look at each other and realize Kakarot's right. MONAITO sighs and tells him to come back soon. They both shoot MONAITO a thumbs up and fly over to Raditz, who already found Kakarot in pod. Raditz tells them they're gonna have to fit into Kakarot's pod since they don't have enough spare pods around. As they both squeeze into the same pod, Raditz tells them what coordinates to set to go to the Frieza Force. Raditz clicks on his scouter to tell Vegeta and Nappa that he got Kakarot and a Cerealian with him. A Cerealian? Vegeta thinks back to it and remembers that the Saiyans conquered their planet years ago and they went extinct. Did one slip by? Vegeta then tells Raditz that he and Nappa will be back in about a month, and if their power level isn't higher than 1,000 when they come back, Raditz, his brother, and Granola are all dead. Raditz gulps but agrees to those terms. As Vegeta hangs up, Vegeta then calls Frieza to tell him about Kakarot and the Cerealian. Frieza, wondering how Saiyan slipped by him, brushes it off for now since Vegeta said he's weaker than Raditz, so he's got nothing to worry about. Frieza is curious about that Cerealian the most. How did one live? Did they hide? Frieza brushes it off for right now, and as they weren't as strong as the Saiyans. Frieza brushes them both off for right now, after all they can use 2 more soldiers. As Raditz, Kakarot, and Granola land onto the planet with the Frieza Force owns that Frieza is on at the moment. Frieza meets with the group and Raditz introduces them. Granola is a little frustrated seeing Frieza. After all, he is the one who sent the Saiyans to conquer Planet Cereal. Granola considers attacking Frieza, but just by staring at him alone, he can't. You can tell he won't win the fight at all. Frieza can see that Granola is angry at him, but he doesn't try to anger Granola at all. He just waits to see if Granola tries anything. Frieza looks back at Raditz, telling him to stay on this planet until Vegeta and Nappa come back. The next planet Frieza has for them is a bit strong, and he needs all the Saiyans for it. Raditz agrees and shows Kakarot and Granola their rooms. Kakarot then thanks Raditz as Raditz tells them to meet him in the training room in a couple minutes so they can get stronger. Kakarot then thanks Raditz for sparing their lives before he leaves. But Raditz tells them to not take him lightly. He won't hold back against them in their training, even if it kills them. Granola scoffs and tells Raditz they'll be there shortly. As the door closes, Granola looks at Kakarot. Is he sure about this? Where are they going to go from here? Kakarot says all they need to do right now is get stronger than Vegeta. He's the leader, so he must be the strongest. Granola then points out Frieza, but Kakarot says they need to take things one at a time. Granola sighs, seeing how the Saiyans are, that it's not just Kakarot who acts this way. Kakarot and Granola go to the training area as they see Raditz with some Frieza soldiers. Raditz tells them they're going to fight against some of the lower-ranked Frieza soldiers before they fully fight him. Kakarot and Granola agree and go into the training room. They beat the Frieza soldiers with... Kakarot and Granola go to the training area as they see Raditz with some Frieza soldiers. Raditz tells them they're going to fight against some of the lower-ranked Frieza soldiers before they fully fight him. Kakarot and Granola agree and go into the training room. They beat the Frieza soldiers with ease. They don't even need to power up at all. Raditz then comes into the room letting them know it's his turn to fight them. Kakarot and Granola gulp, but as they look at each other, they both nod and power up. Raditz reads their power level and sees that they got stronger. But how? Kakarot's now at a power level of 700 and Granola at a power level of 600. Raditz figures out that Kakarot got a Zenkai boost from healing from their fight. But Granola, how did he get stronger? Actually, how did Granola and Kakarot even heal before they even left Planet Cereal? They didn't even go into any healing pods or anything. He didn't take note of it at the moment, but now that he looks back at it, it's a bit odd. Unless they had an ability to heal themselves. Raditz figures Granola just has an ability to heal himself and the others. But this fight will be the answer for that, as Raditz doesn't plan on holding back. As Raditz charges in to fight them both, they go to the different sides of the room. Granola, activating his red eye, shoots one of Raditz's vital points. Oatmeal is secretly telling Granola where to shoot to get his vital points. As Raditz falls down, Kakarot then appears behind him, punching him multiple times. As this happens, Frieza shows up into the training room, just to watch. But they're so immersed in the fight they don't even notice. Frieza takes note of Granola's red eye, and how it got a vital point so easily. As Kakarot punches Raditz in the gut, he kicks Kakarot away. But, as he does, Granola shoots him again, but barely misses a vital point. Raditz then charges towards Granola, punching him in the gut and slamming him to the ground. As he does so, he gets blasted from the back. It's Kakarot. He got back up and used all of his remaining strength to defeat Raditz, but as he does, Raditz knocks it away. He has to use all his strength. As he does, Kakarot and Raditz fall to the ground together. Frieza smirks and tells soldiers to send them to the healing pods. When all three are in the healing pods, Raditz notices Granola isn't healing himself, so he most definitely doesn't have a healing ability. So there must be someone else on that planet he missed, unless Kakarot learned to heal people somehow. But Planet Cereal didn't have anybody who could heal people, so there's no way. As Raditz closes his eyes, he hears someone in his head. It's Kakarot, thanking Raditz for the fight. Raditz scoffs as his eyes fully close. Frieza's watching them from afar, and as he is a little bit concerned, he knows the Saiyans got Zenkai boost and knows that if they train together, it increases their strength much quicker. Will they eventually be a threat? No, that can't be possible. As Frieza goes back to the soldiers, he tells Zarbon and Dodoria to keep a close eye on the Saiyans and that Cerulean. And as he does, he gets word from some of his soldiers that Nappa and Vegeta are on the way back, a bit early, finishing the job. And with that, that's where we'll end off for today. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Also, be sure to like and subscribe as it helps out the channel. And with that out of the way, I'll see you guys in the next video. Last time, we left off with Raditz, Kakarot, and Granola healing from their training, with Frieza learning Nappa and Vegeta are on their way back from the mission, finishing the job a little bit early. And that leaves us wondering, what will happen next? Welcome back to part 3 of What If MONAITO Raised Kakarot. Before we fully go to the Saiyans, let's go back a little bit to Planet Cereal before Kakarot and Granola leave. They ask MONAITO for a favor. If they're not back in a year, MONAITO can use the Dragon Balls. MONAITO agrees, saying we'll try to find the other Dragon Ball whilst they're gone. Kakarot and Granola think MONAITO would fly off. MONAITO goes back to his home, and as he watches the Saiyan pods leave, he gets worried. What if they die? What if the Dragon Balls don't work? What if Goku was named Kakarot? Sorry, getting a bit ahead of myself. Monaito goes into his house and stares at the Dragon Ball. It's the one-star Dragon Ball. Monaito grabs the Dragon Ball and starts his search for the second Dragon Ball to summon the dragon. We go ahead a bit, about a week and a half. Kakarot, Raditz, and Granola have gotten a better connection with each other, but not enough to have Raditz turn good. They trained a lot and got a lot stronger too, so let's go over some power levels and include Nappa and Vegeta also. Raditz is actually the weakest now at a power level of 1700. Granola comes next at a power level of 1900, but with his red eye boost, moves it to 2100. Kakarot's power level is at about 2500. Kakarot is dedicated day and night to training. Even while Raditz and Granola are asleep, he trains with Frieza soldiers. He once trained with Dodoria, but Kakarot almost died from it, but it gave him a good Zenkai. Also, as a side note, the reason no one is killing Kakarot because of how similar he looks to Bardock is because low class warriors look the same, so they shrug it off and think that's the case. But it did raise Frieza's suspension on Kakarot. Anyways, Nappa's still at a power level of 4000 and Vegeta is still at a power level of 18,000. But now that we're past that, let's get back to the story. Nappa and Vegeta land back on the planet and meet Kakarot and Granola. Granola's a bit angered at the two Saiyans, but he doesn't show it in case they try anything. As Kakarot is about to introduce himself, Nappa points out how they aren't even stronger than Raditz. So what use is Raditz? Raditz gulps, but Vegeta saves his ass by saying they could still use him. Nappa and Vegeta turn off their scouters and tell Raditz to as well. As he does, Nappa checks if the coast is clear. Once he tells Vegeta it's clear, Vegeta gives them a serious look. They're planning to rebel against Frieza, fight back. But they know they're not strong enough. Vegeta knows that when they first arrived, Raditz was stronger than them by a lot. So he asked it plain and simple, what did they do to get stronger? Girl is about to tell them to not worry about it, but Kakarot interrupts him and tells them that all they did was train and help them out. Vegeta scoffs and looks at Raditz. He's training with these people? Raditz should be ashamed of himself. These two were weaker than him and they got stronger than him in less than 3 weeks. Raditz, angered, is about to say something until Kakarot, yet again, interrupts and says he wants to spar Nappa and Vegeta. Nappa snaps and tells him to stay in his lane. Vegeta is the prince of all Saiyans, and whatever he says goes. Oh, this little class warrior says. Granola then snaps and yells at Nappa and Vegeta. The prince of all Saiyans? There's only 4 of them left. How is he a prince of only 4 Saiyans? 3 if he doesn't count himself. Vegeta angrily stares at Granola and tells him to go into the training room. He's going to show Granola why he's the prince. Granola agrees and goes to the training room. Raditz runs up to Granola telling him how stupid he is. He'll be lucky if Vegeta spares his life. Granola brushes it off. He can't be that strong if he didn't even know what made them stronger. Kakarot is slowly walking behind them, who then sees a door open. It's Frieza, greeting Nappa and Vegeta, asking about their mission. Vegeta angrily says he'll tell him shortly. Right now, he needs to put a civilian in their place. Frieza, annoyed a little bit, is about to tell him how the mission went right now, but doesn't. He realizes that if Vegeta kills Granola in this, it's one less thorn on his side. As Frieza turns back to leave, he tells Vegeta and Nappa to meet him in his room once they're done, to where Vegeta agrees. As Granola and Vegeta enter the training room, he tells Granola it's not too late to take back what he said. Granola scoffs and says it to him straight. Like hell he's gonna take that back. He's the only civilian left because of what the Saiyans did. Vegeta then gets ready in the battle stance, as Granola does the same. They both stare each other down until Vegeta rushes towards Granola. Granola, shocked at his speed, just barely ducks out of the way from a punch. Granola shoots a ki blast at Vegeta, but once it hits him and the smoke clears, Vegeta's just standing there with no scratches or anything. Even Granola's shocked. Vegeta tells Granola he has no chance of winning as he runs towards Granola, punching him in the stomach and chopping the back of his neck. Granola falls to the ground. Vegeta is about to kill Granola until he hears something at the last second, and as soon as he looks back, he gets punched in the face by Kakarot. Vegeta scoffs, saying that he's the only good blow he's gonna get. Vegeta runs towards Kakarot. He gets ready to block his attacks until Vegeta disappears. Kakarot looks around until he gets kicked in the back and slammed to the ground. Vegeta laughs and tells him that even if they fight together, they still stand no chance against him. Vegeta leaves the training room, deciding he'll spare the two for now. As he leaves, he tells Raditz to take them to their healing chambers before they become even more useless. Nappa says that they're already useless, so what's the point, as he laughs and walks away. Raditz picks up the two and calls them idiots for thinking they could beat Vegeta in a fight. He wasn't even using his full power. Kakarot weakly laughs and says that now he knows his end goal. As Raditz puts both into their healing pods, he looks at Granola again. He's very suspicious on how they fully healed in their first fight a while back. Time goes by, and when they leave the healing pods, they ask Raditz to check their power level. As he checks, he's shocked. Kakarot is at a power level of 3100. He's almost as strong as Nappa. But if he fights strategically, he could most likely beat Nappa. Checks Granola, but it's barely changed due to him not being a Saiyan, so Granola is at a power level of 2200. Granola asks Raditz how come he doesn't get a power boost like him or Kakarot. Raditz explains that closer to death they are in heal, the stronger they get. It all makes sense. That's why Kakarot is the strongest out of the three. Even the little match against Dodoria explains it. Besides the fight against Vegeta, that's what gave him the biggest Zenkai. Raditz gets a call in a scout from Vegeta. He tells him that Frieza is calling for them all to his room. He has a planet he wants them to conquer. Kakarot looks at Granola nervously as they both gulp and follow Raditz to meet Frieza. As they enter the room, Nappa decides to real quick check Kakarot's power level. He's stunned by Kakarot's power boost. Frieza asks him what's wrong, but Nappa says that the scouter was on the fritz for a second. Frieza ignores it as he tells the Saiyans and Granola where to go next. A planet called Yardrat. The people who live on the planet aren't strong themselves, but their techniques can be very dangerous if ignored for long. Vegeta says it should be easy and there shouldn't be any problems, but he's wondering why Frieza wants to send all of them. If they're not strong, then why send all the Saiyans? Sure, their techniques may be a bit dangerous, but should be able to easily get around that. Vegeta doesn't ask any questions and decides to tell the rest of the group to get a pod, and he'll set Kakarot and Gorilla's coordinates himself. We go back to Planet Cereal, where we see Monaito roaming around a forest to try and find the second Dragon Ball. The sun starts going down, so he decides to call it for the night and heads back to his home. As he does, he hears beeping coming from Granola's room. As he enters his room, he sees some sort of radio. It's a call from Oatmeal? Monaito answers the call, and when he does, he hears Granola's voice. Monaito asks how Granola made the radio, to which Granola mentions how he made it a while ago in case anything ever went wrong. It seems his time making the radio was worth it. Monaito catches up with Granola, learning about the other Saiyans and Frieza. Monaito says he's close to fighting the other Dragon Ball. He just feels it. Granola hopes so as he plans to fight Vegeta and Nappa again and hopefully kill them once they get to the planet they're destined to go to. Monaito nervously asks Granola why, as he immediately snaps back and says he's going to get the revenge he's been waiting for. Granola tried to tell Kakarot his plan earlier, but it seems like Kakarot's image training to get stronger. Monaito says to keep him in the loop on everything and not to fight Vegeta and Nappa just yet, as he still needs to find the other Dragon Ball just in case. Granola agrees and ends the call with Monaito. Granola asks Vegeta over a scouter how much longer it's going to take to get to Planet Yardrat, to which Vegeta replies it's going to take at least 2 months to get there. Granola is shocked. 2 months? That's way too long. Vegeta says not to worry about it and that there's enough food and water for them all supplied by the Frieza Force. Vegeta asks Kakarot if he has enough food, knowing he has a Saiyan stomach. But Kakarot doesn't reply at all. He's still in his training. Vegeta scoffs and calls him ignorant and ends the call between the three. As we shift over to Kakarot, we see him with his eyes closed, not sleeping, but image training to get stronger to fight Vegeta and Nappa. Sure, Granola didn't tell him his plan to fight and kill Vegeta and Nappa, but it's obvious what Granola plans on doing. As the time goes by, the Saiyans and Granola land on Planet Yardrat, causing havoc. But Nappa sees that Kakarot and Granola are destroying buildings, but not killing Yardrats. He snaps at them, telling them they need to kill the Yardrats. It's Frieza's orders, after all. Kakarot tells Nappa not to boss him around, to which Granola agrees. Nappa, pissed off, tells him to know their place. Granola tells Nappa to make them know their place. Nappa laughs and says they stand no chance against him. As Raditz and Vegeta watch from afar, Raditz asks Vegeta if they should step in. Vegeta tells him not to and wants to see where this goes. As Kakarot and Granola get into a fighting stance, Nappa starts powering up. Now, Nappa hasn't been training a whole lot, but I can imagine he's been training at least a bit, so I'll give him a power level of about 5,500. As he charges towards Kakarot and Granola, they both power up and it shocks Nappa, but even shocks Vegeta a little bit. Kakarot is at a power level of 7,000 and Granola is behind him with a power of 5,000. Kakarot kicks Nappa in the gut as Granola then shoots a vital point at Nappa. Nappa falls to the ground angered, tries punching Kakarot, but he catches his fist and then punches Nappa in the gut. Nappa falls to the ground, but as he does, he then does a giant storm, catching Kakarot and Granola off guard. As the rubble clears, Nappa doesn't even see Kakarot and Granola anymore until it's too late for him to turn around as he feels a blast go through him. Raditz and Vegeta are shocked. Nappa tries to shoot one more blast, but Granola easily dodges it as he kicks Nappa towards Vegeta. Vegeta is angered beyond belief, but as he's about to charge towards him, he sees Granola click on that weird thing on his face. As he does, Granola and Kakarot disappear. Vegeta is shocked at what happened, but also angered at what happened. Vegeta grabs Raditz, asking what the hell just happened to them, and where did they go? Raditz tells Vegeta he swears he doesn't know where they went, and doesn't know how they disappeared. Vegeta then turns off his scatter and tells Raditz to do the same. Vegeta sighs, still angry, but recognizes they have no other choice but to go on the run. Scouters are recording everything though. Sure, they may have cut them off, but they didn't cut off the voice recording part. Frieza must know by now that Kakarot and Granola are gone. If they come back with it just being Vegeta and Raditz, Frieza will for sure kill them without hesitation. Vegeta then tells Raditz they need to find a suitable planet that isn't on Frieza's radar, but also not strong. As if for that off, we go to Frieza, who's angered beyond belief. Some of his strongest warriors disappeared just like that. Frieza snaps at his soldiers, asking them to find where the Saiyans and the Cerulean are as soon as possible. They nervously run out of the room, telling Frieza they'll try their best. With that, we go to Planet Cereal. As Kakarot and Granola appear back on Planet Cereal, they see Monaito and a big dragon beside them. Monaito gives a sigh of relief as he sees there's a little bit of damage, and he heals them. Granola then tells Kakarot what he and Monaito were talking about. Monaito, after a month of looking for his second Dragon Ball, after his call with Granola, finds the Dragon Ball, tells Granola. Both come to agreement that as things get tough on Planet Yardra when they find out with Vegeta, to bring them back immediately. Before they landed on Planet Yardra, he called Monaito and told him to get the dragon summoned and ready to go. As Monaito does, he then gets a call from Granola. Monaito knows what this means. Not even answering the call, he wishes for Kakarot and Granola to return to Planet Cereal, to which the dragon agrees and teleports them back. Now, as we go back to the present, Granola says that he and Kakarot will need to go into hiding for a little bit in case Frieza's soldiers come to Planet Cereal. It would make sense after all. That's where Raditz went to get Gumbos, so it wouldn't be surprising if they stopped by here. Kakarot and Granola then come to an agreement that it might be best for them to stay on a different planet for now. A planet not too far from Cereal, but a planet far enough that won't be put Cereal in danger. Monaito sighs and tells him to at least bring him along so they can get healed whenever they train. Kakarot and Granola are hesitant at first, but realize that could be pretty useful, so they agree. As the three pack everything up, they decide to set a planet called Planet Namek. This is decided by Monaito, as they should go there. They ask why, but Monaito just smiles and tells them they'll see shortly. And with that, that's where we'll end off the What If for now. What did you guys think of this part? Let me know in the comments below. And if you have any ideas, comment those as well. Be sure to like and subscribe also, as it helps grow the channel for more to see. With that, I thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next part. Last time, Monaito found the second Dragon Ball which drew Kakarot and Monaito to come back to Planet Cereal. Then, knowing the planet is now in danger, they told Monaito they should go to Planet Namek. Vegeta and Raditz decided they have only two choices: go back to Frieza and most definitely die, or go on the run. But that leaves us wondering a little bit, why did Monaito want to take Kakarot and Granola to Namek? What's over there? Welcome back to part 4 of What If MONAITO Raised KAKAROT. So, like I said, Monaito says they should go to Planet Namek. Granola keeps asking why, but Monaito tells him just to be patient. As they loaded everything in the ship, they all look at Planet Cereal one last time. Who knows? This may be the last time they see the planet. As they leave, Monaito looks in the bag he has. It contains the 2 smaller Dragon Balls he made before. Before they left, they quickly went on the hunt for the Dragon Balls, and with Kakarot and Granola, the process was much quicker. As they all enter the ship, they think to themselves, what is Planet Namek? Monaito tells them not to worry as he sets the coordinates on the ship to Planet Namek. The ship starts flying in the air. Kakarot looks outside the ship, reminiscing the planet. This is where he grew up, where he got strong, and now this may be the last time they see it. Monaito tells them that it may take a couple of days to get to Planet Namek, so he tells them to get some rest and maybe some image train a little bit. As Kakarot and Granola settle down, they wonder where to go from here. What will happen to Vegeta and Raditz? What is Frieza gonna do to find them? They don't worry too much about what will happen with them though. I mean, they have to worry about themselves first, of course. A few days go by and they finally arrive on Planet Namek. As they get off the ship, they look around. It's a bunch of greenery with some weirdly shaped trees. As they start looking around, they notice a village nearby. And as they land at the village, Kakarot and Granola are shocked, while Monaito just stands there and smiles. It's more people who look like Monaito. The other Namekians are shocked to see an old Namekian they've never seen before. Monaito explains to Kakarot and Granola who the Namekians are and explains why he was on planet Cereal. A while back, some of the Namekians dispersed on the different planets. Some would stay on Namek, some would not. Monaito was one of the few who would be going to a different planet. The Namekians were at peace on planet Cereal and became allies with the Cerealians, until the day the Saiyans landed on the planet. Monaito was the only Namekian to live the attack, while Granola was the only Cerealian to live the attack. The Namekians asked Monaito so many questions. If he was attacked by the Saiyans, why wait till now to come back? Who are the Cerealians? And most importantly, is the one with the black hair a Saiyan? Monaito is about to answer until Kakarot cuts him off. He says he is a Saiyan, but he's not like the others. He's more calm-minded, but still has the mind of a Saiyan warrior. Now, I never said this until now, but I guess I'll say it. Kakarot is a bit different in this scenario. He has the mindset of Bardock fighting-wise, but is more peaceful like Gine. I'd say that like the feeling of Monaito and Granola kind of rubbed off on Kakarot. The Namekians are suspicious at first until Monaito catches them up to speed. They went to the Frieza Force and escaped? Does Frieza know they came here? Monaito tells them they came here since Frieza doesn't know exactly about it yet. Then another Namekian erupts. It's Nail, who just flew in. He sensed the 3 landing on the planet and told Guru about it, who told him to check it out. Monaito introduces himself and the other two. Nail asks what business do they have here. As they explain, Nail gets a concerned face, but also an angry one. He's heard about the Frieza Force, but what if they come here now because of them? Kakarot says to lay off Monaito and that he didn't know the risk of them coming here. Nail is about to send them away until he hears a voice in his head. It's Guru, asking Nail to bring the 3 to him to read their minds. He sees they're safe to be on this planet or not. As they arrive at Guru's home, Kakarot notices Nail's been glancing at them the entire time, not fully trusting Kakarot especially. Kakarot asks Nail if everything is alright, where Nail says how he doesn't trust Kakarot the most. He's the Saiyan who is known for destroying and conquering planets. What's stopping him from taking over their planet? Kakarot sighs and tells him if he doesn't trust him, he can fight it out for now. Nail agrees and they go down into the ground in an open area. As they both get in a battle stance, let's go over some power levels. Kakarot is at a power level of 9,000, while Nail is at a power level of 42,000, like the original. So it's obvious to say that Nail easily wins the fight. Granola wants to step in to fight Nail, but he knows he stands no chance. If he barely stood a chance against Vegeta, who had a power level of 18,000 and Kakarot stronger than him, I think we know what would happen. As he watches, Monaito is scared of what Nail is going to do. Nail then puts out a hand towards Kakarot while smiling. He was only testing Kakarot? The entire time they fought, Kakarot made sure to cause no damage to the planet, and Nail detected no malice or evil at all while fighting him. Kakarot smirks and grabs Nail's hand. Monaito runs over and heals Kakarot, who gets a decent Zenkai from this. Now, I feel I should say this before some people may be wondering, how does Monaito have healing powers? While he can heal in the manga, he has less skill in the ability. Having 2 kids to take care of, he decided to hone the skill more and use it even better. While it isn't instant like Dende's healing, Monaito can still heal people pretty quick, I'd say quicker than in the manga. As the group enters Guru's home, they see the giant Namekian. Everyone is shocked at the size of Guru. Kakarot being Kakarot says this out loud. Monaito tells Kakarot to show respect to Guru, to which Guru tells him it's alright. Guru introduces himself and explains his story. He says he wants to read their minds, understand their past, and see what struggles and battles they've gone through. Granola goes first. Guru places his hand on Granola's head and reads his mind. He sees a Saiyan that looks like Kakarot, a Saiyan pod landing. Training with Kakarot, seeing Frieza, then landing here. Guru asks Granola if he's the last Cerealian alive, to which Granola looks down at the ground and sadly agrees. He apologizes to Granola, saying he shouldn't have gone through that. Guru then asks Granola if he and Kakarot would like their potential meets. Granola, without skipping a heartbeat, agrees. Kakarot is reluctant at first until Monaito convinces him. Thinking of how strong he would get, he'd be able to beat Vegeta and maybe stand a chance against Frieza. Kakarot finally agrees, but Guru says he wants to read the mind of Kakarot and Monaito first. As he does, he sees Kakarot's memories. A Saiyan who doesn't act like the other Saiyans. A battle-hungry Saiyan, but still has a heart for the people at the end of the day. Guru then says he'll withdraw all 3 of their potential. As he withdraws Granola, he sees the strong growth and the potential he had. Everyone is shocked, and Granola himself is shocked. The potential he had. He went from a power level of 6,000 to 54,000. Now, Before you go in the comments saying that's way too big of a boost, let's look at the math from the manga and anime. When Gohan and Krillin got a power boost from Guru, Gohan went from a power level of 1500 to 14,000. If we divide that, we get 9.333 and so on. Going around to the closest whole number, we get 9. Krillin has a power level of 1500 also before he gets the boost. When he does, he goes from that power level to 13,000. Once we divide that, we get a 8.666 and so on. When we round that up, we get 9. So it's roughly, from what I'm getting, a 9 times boost from doing the math. But it can also depend on their potential, which is why for Kakarot, his power level goes from 10,000, which he got from Monaito healing after a fight with Nail, to 110,000. Granola is shocked at Kakarot's power boost. He shows a little concern with the Saiyan being that strong. But it's Kakarot. He won't be betraying them at all, right? Guru says they're going to need to train to get used to the power level they have. They both look at each other and smile as they go outside to train. A couple months go by as we see Kakarot and Granola training with Nail, watching over them with the new elder Mori. As the months went by, Guru's age was starting to get to him, and he knew his life would draw soon, so while he had the time, he gave his powers to Mori, who is now linked to the Dragon Balls himself. But as they spar, they then notice a power level actually. It's multiple power levels. It's 5 power levels to be exact. They see 5 pods, but with a weird symbol on them. That's when they realize it's the Ginyu Force. They never meant the Ginyu Force, but they heard about them from Frieza and Vegeta and how they are pretty strong to fight. Before the pods even land, Granola shoots all 5 pods, destroying all the Ginyu Force members. But unfortunately for Kakarot and Granola, Frieza was unconventionally watching at that exact moment. He did it. He finally found the Saiyan in Cerulean. He tells soldiers to get a ship ready to go to Planet Namek. They're going to kill a Saiyan in Cerulean. As Kakarot looks at the rubble, he yells at Granola, "Was that really the best idea? Surely they could have done something easier." Granola says no matter what they did, Frieza would find them and come to the planet eventually. Naito run over, asking what the hell that noise was. Kakarot and Granola explain what happened as Nail and Mori lay down nervous. Kakarot looks at Mori, telling him to tell all the Namekians to go into hiding as much as they could use their Namekian Dragon Balls to wish away to another planet. Sooner or later, they'll have to fight Frieza. Mori agrees as he goes to tell all the Namekians. Nail asks Kakarot what he should do, to which Granola tells Nail that he should stick with the Namekians. They may need someone to defend them in case Frieza sends out soldiers. They're unsure of how soon Frieza will arrive, but it's best to send the Namekians into hiding now, just in case. Granola tells Monaito to stick with Nail, to which Monaito says no. His healing ability has gotten stronger. His age may affect him, but he's definitely gotten better with it. Granola, knowing there isn't anybody to tell Monaito to give with them, tells him to at least stay away far enough and only heal them if necessary. Granola looks up at the sky nervously along with Kakarot, wondering if their power would be enough for Frieza. A few days go by and they sense a really strong power. It's Frieza. He's here. They fly to the ship, awaiting for Frieza to exit the ship. As he does, he stares at just Kakarot? But where's the Cerulean? Maybe he died? Whatever. Kakarot asks Frieza what business he has here, to which Frieza tells him, plain and simple, to kill him. Frieza asks where Granola is, to which Kakarot says he's off planet with the rest of the Namekians. It's just him on the planet now. Frieza smirks as he says that he won't need to hold back. Kakarot smiles as he starts powering up. Frieza starts reading his power level. 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, 500,000. So the scatter then blows up right at 1 million. Frieza is a little bit surprised, to which Kakarot then says he spent every day and night training to get stronger than Frieza. Frieza starts laughing, leaving Kakarot confused. Frieza then shows a serious stare as he starts powering up. Kakarot is shocked as Frieza's body starts changing shape. It gets taller and a little bit smaller as his head gets longer, and then he starts powering up again and as smoke disappears, Kakarot sees a more cleaner, smooth version of Frieza. It's Frieza in his true form, aka his base form. Frieza says that what he saw was his other transformations that could most likely easily kill Kakarot, but he wants to get this over with quickly. Frieza then dashes towards Kakarot, leaving him shocked at his speed. Frieza elbows Kakarot in the face and then grabs his leg with his tail, throwing him into a mountain. Frieza laughs. Is that all he had to show? If so, then he never stood a chance. But then Kakarot appears behind Frieza, telling him not to get so confident. And as Frieza turns around, he's shocked. Kakarot is there with no damage at all. He's wondering what the hell he did to fully be back to Hell's, but Kakarot just smirks and starts fighting Frieza. Kakarot still isn't strong enough to fend off Frieza, but as Frieza is about to punch Kakarot, he got shot in the back. It was a vital point. Frieza looks behind him to see Granola on a mountain. He has a red eye with some reddish/orangish aura. Frieza starts to rush towards Granola at fast speeds. Granola starts running away from Frieza, just barely dodging his attacks, until Frieza uses his psychic powers to catch Granola in place. He brings Granola over and starts beating him relentlessly. As he does, he then hears someone behind him. As soon as he does look behind him, he sees Kakarot again, fully healed. Frieza's anger, asking how the hell is he healing so easily. Kakarot smirks and says he shouldn't worry about that just yet. Frieza thinks to himself he needs to get a bit more serious. Kakarot keeps healing like that, he'll get enough Zenkais to surpass even him. Kakarot swats them both away as he starts powering up to 50%. Kakarot and Granola stand there bewildered. This is Frieza's power? They stand no chance. Frieza then blitzes towards Granola, hitting him away, leaving Kakarot shocked at the speed of Frieza. Granola isn't even able to get a chance to fight back, but as soon as he has a chance to stand up, he feels a beam shooting through his chest. It's Frieza using a death beam, and it hit Granola right in the heart. As Granola falls to the ground, lifeless, Kakarot is floating there speechless, until he hears someone yell out Granola's name. It's MONAITO. Frieza finally figures it out. Ah, this must be who is healing Kakarot to make him stronger. No worries, he'll kill him too. Kakarot begs Frieza to not kill MONAITO, to which Frieza looks at Kakarot as he shoots a death beam at MONAITO, hitting him in the head, leaving him lifeless as well. Kakarot feels so shocked, sad, angry. Frieza just killed the two people who saved him, helped him grow, made him know right from wrong. As Frieza laughs, the planet starts to shake. He looks over at Kakarot, who's angered beyond belief. Kakarot then powers up, fully shocking Frieza. Kakarot then stands there with a golden aura and golden hair, staring at Frieza like a madman. Frieza looks at Kakarot, shocked. Is this the Super Saiyan? There's no way. Frieza shoots a death beam at Kakarot that he easily swats away. Kakarot then appears in front of Frieza, telling him he'll pay for what he did. He'll pay for killing so many innocent lives, conquering innocent planets, killing his friends and family. Kakarot punches Frieza in the gut, causing him to cough up blood. Frieza looks at Kakarot, having no other choice. He needs to go all out. Kakarot kicks Frieza away, and he gives Frieza the perfect opportunity to power up to his max. And as he does, Kakarot stands there, letting him. He wants to kill Frieza at his max. And with that, that's where we'll end off for this part. What do you guys think of this part? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, be sure to like the video and subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. And with that out of the way, I'll see you guys in the next part. Last time, Granola and Kakarot started to fight Frieza, underestimating his strength. Frieza killed Granola and MONAITO, leaving Kakarot enraged and transforming into a Super Saiyan. Kakarot then lets Frieza power up to his max, wanting to kill Frieza at his max. Welcome back to part 5 of What If MONAITO Raised Kakarot. Now, before we fully start, let's go over power levels quickly. Before Granola met his demise, he was at a power level of 200,000. Kakarot, before turning Super Saiyan, got to a power level of 3 million. And with Super Saiyan being a 50 times power boost, brought it up to 150 million. And then Frieza is at a power level of 120 million. So, we know where this is going to go, but let's watch it all happen. Frieza powers up to his 100%, Kakarot just staring at him. Frieza is still shaken up a bit, but he's confident he can kill Kakarot. As Frieza's about to rush in, Kakarot appears behind him, kicking him in the back of the head. Frieza falls to the ground angry. There's just no way. How could a Saiyan get this strong? Frieza fires multiple ki balls at Kakarot, who easily dodges them all or swats them away. He gets in front of Frieza, grabbing his arms, stopping him from firing ki balls. Kakarot tells Frieza he made a mistake trying to find him and Granola. Kakarot then asks Frieza what he decided to do with Raditz and Vegeta, to which Frieza says Vegeta and Raditz ran off somewhere, after Kakarot and Granola went away. Kakarot smirks, says Vegeta is still alive out there. Well, he hopes Vegeta can sense this. We zoom off of Planet Namek and go to a planet the Frieza Force owns. We see buildings being destroyed. It's Vegeta and Raditz, both confident enough in taking over and dethroning Frieza. But as they do, they hear a familiar, deep voice. It's not Frieza, but it's King Cold, asking just what the hell they're doing. Frieza looks at King Cold nervously until Vegeta laughs and says he came here to kill Frieza, but his father can make do for right now. King Cold laughs. Does Vegeta seriously think he's strong enough to kill him? To which Vegeta agrees as he gets a golden aura, turning Super Saiyan, which in result shocks King Cold. Now, let me explain how Vegeta got Super Saiyan. Vegeta and Raditz flew off to a random planet and decided to train together. Raditz being significantly weaker than Vegeta, Vegeta wasn't getting much stronger, angering him more and more. One night, Vegeta is standing on the edge of a mountain by himself, thinking about how this all happened out of nowhere. It angers him beyond belief. Vegeta yells out loud, and as he does, his aura slowly turns gold and his hair starts to change. Vegeta looks at himself in a reflection of water, seeing how he turned into a Super Saiyan. He goes to wake Raditz, telling him they have a mission: go and kill Frieza once and for all. As we go back to the present, King Cold is stunned. Is this the Super Saiyan Frieza was talking about? There's no way. King Cold, angered, dashes towards Vegeta, who easily dodges or blocks his attacks. Vegeta, in one swift punch, pierces King Cold with his fist, to then fire a ki blast through him at the same time, kind of like what he did with Zarbon at the Planet Vegeta saga. King Cold coughs out blood, telling Vegeta his reign isn't over just yet, as he fires a death beam, but misses Vegeta. But when Vegeta turns around, he pictures that the death beam wasn't for him. It was for Raditz. Raditz falls to the ground with a hole in his chest right through the heart. King Cold shot him, killing Raditz. Vegeta angrily yells as he rips King Cold's head off, killing him once and for all. Vegeta grabs the head and steps outside to see all the soldiers. He holds up the head and says the Frieza Force is no more. It's now the Vegeta Force. All the Frieza Force soldiers are scared and worried about their new leader. But when they look at Vegeta, they notice he's not looking at them anymore, but in the sky. Vegeta smirks as he's looking at the sky and whispers, "Good luck to Kakarot," as he senses his power finally, seeing he's fighting Frieza. We go back to Planet Namek. Kakarot is pummeling Frieza to the ground like it's nothing. Frieza weakly stands back up, saying he won't lose to a Saiyan. He charges towards Kakarot one last time to hit him, until Kakarot dodges it and chops Frieza's arm off. Frieza screams in pain as Kakarot kicks him away. Kakarot tells Frieza he has no chance of winning here. It's best if he dies with honor. Kakarot then holds up a hand, charging a ki blast. Kakarot calls Frieza a coward for killing all his Saiyans. He was afraid they would surpass him at any given time that they trained. Frieza stares at Kakarot as he says that, and then it clicks for him. Kakarot, he's the son of the one Saiyan who rebelled against him whenever he was about to destroy Planet Vegeta. Frieza understands it now. Frieza yells that they can all go to hell without him as he jumps in the air and charges up a huge ki ball. And as he launches it, Kakarot is about to fight back. Then he starts switching from Super Saiyan to his base form. As the seconds go by, Kakarot goes back to his base form, heavily weakened, not being able to withstand the transformation. As he launches it, the form, Kakarot looks up at the sky scared, but then shoots a ki blast himself. As he does, it's only just delaying his death. Frieza then yells at Kakarot this is the same move he used to kill Kakarot's father in the Saiyans. When Kakarot hears that, he gets a second wind, starts powering up more. It's starting to slightly push Frieza's blast away, but Frieza puts more power into it, and it starts going back to Namek. Kakarot thinks this is it. He's done for. Till he hears a voice telling him not to give up. Kakarot is shocked at first until he realizes that it's Granola. But how? Granola says he'll explain later. He tells Kakarot the planet is strong and can withstand his power. Go all out. Kakarot understands as he stands up more, using every last ounce of power, screaming at the top of his lungs, his hair turning golden again, turning back into Super Saiyan. And as Kakarot does, he feels like he sees someone behind him. It's himself? No, that's not him. That's Bardock, his father. Kakarot laughs and uses the last bit of power he has to push back the ki ball. As it starts to consume Frieza, Kakarot realizes he needs to change the route of the ki ball. He flies towards it, kicking it far away into space as it detonates. Kakarot smiles as he transforms into his base form and falls to the ground. But before he hits the ground, someone catches him. It's Nail. Nail tells him he did it. He killed Frieza. Kakarot smiles and then passes out. But as he does, he notices he got healed by some kid named Dende. Kakarot thanks the Namekian as he runs away, a little scared. Nail asks what happened to Granola and Minato, to which Kakarot explains everything. But as soon as he's done, Mori steps in saying they can use the Dragon Balls to bring them back. Really? Dragon Balls do that? Mori agrees as if the Namekians lift up a Dragon Ball. Kakarot smirks as they put down the Dragon Ball, summoning Piranha. Kakarot is shocked at the size of the dragon, saying he's much bigger than Tarumba. Piranha asks for their wishes. Mori speaks in Namekian, asking Piranha to bring back to life Granola, then MONAITO. Dragon says it is done, and as an extra gift, he brought them both directly here to them. Granola and MONAITO are a little shocked, but expected this to happen. As they look up, they see Piranha and are shocked at his size. Mori tells Kakarot they have one more wish to make. This put Kakarot in a tough spot, wondering what to wish for. Could he wish back for Planet Vegeta, for the descendants to come back? No. But then it clicks for him. He whispers Mori the wish, who smiles and tells Piranha the wish. As the wish is made, Piranha then disappears and the Dragon Balls fly in multiple directions. Granola asks Kakarot what wish he made, to which Kakarot smiles and says, "I'll have to wait and see when they get back to Planet Cereal." Granola and Minato are a bit confused, but they trust Kakarot enough. About a week goes by, and the three are ready to go back home to Planet Cereal. The Namekians wish them good luck as the ship flies away. Kakarot then remembers he forgot to ask Granola, how did he talk to Kakarot in his head? Granola reveals that he went on some snake way when King Yama, whoever that was, found out what was going on. Granola traveled across Snake Way and met King Kai, who was weird at first. He needed to tell him a joke, but luckily King Kai knew what was going on, so whenever Granola did tell him a joke and made him laugh, he let him go, and just let him train with it. Granola didn't train much under King Kai, but he learned about a technique called Kaioken. He didn't learn it, but he says he might just learn it later down the road. Kakarot says that he'll have to show them what it is when they get back to Planet Cereal. A couple days go by as they are back on Planet Cereal. Kakarot is smiling the entire time, leaving Granola and MONAITO suspicious of the wish he made until he hears someone yell out their names. Granola and MONAITO turn around, leaving them speechless. It's Muesli, Granola's mother. Granola starts to tear up a bit, running to hug his mother. Kakarot then reveals to MONAITO he wished for Granola's mother back to life. MONAITO then asks Kakarot why he didn't bring back his parents instead. Kakarot laughs and says he wants to do what's good for others, and he wants to have Granola more fully on his good side. But he doesn't say that part out loud. MONAITO smiles. Granola's mom is back on the world planet, and Kakarot has a goal to achieve Master Super Saiyan. And with that, that's what we'll end off for this part. What do you guys think of this part? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, be sure to like the video and subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. And with that out of the way, I'll see you guys in the next part. Last time, we ended off with Kakarot turning Super Saiyan, killing Frieza once and for all, as Vegeta claimed the throne for himself, turning the Frieza Force into the Vegeta Force. So let's see where we go from here. Welcome to part 6 of What If MONAITO Raised Kakarot. 5 years go by. MONAITO's age has started to affect him a bit more. Even though he's honed his healing ability better, it takes him a bit longer now to heal Kakarot and Granola for training. But let's check up on Kakarot and Granola. Granola's been taking his training less seriously with his mother around now due to Kakarot reviving her. Kakarot though has been training a lot. I feel at this point Kakarot not only got mastery over Super Saiyan, but unlocked Super Saiyan 2, but he knows there's more power he can get. Maybe he goes back to his Saiyan heritage in some way. Kakarot stands outside the house alone at night until he hears someone open the door. It's Muesli. She asks Kakarot what he's doing up late. Kakarot says he's trying to obtain more power, but he doesn't know how to. He's thinking if he somehow goes back to his Saiyan heritage, he might be able to get stronger. Muesli then comments on the fact that when the Saiyans came to attack the Cerealians, they were big apes. Maybe Kakarot could find a way to use that. That's when it clicks for Kakarot. Of course, why didn't you think of that sooner? Kakarot thanks Muesli and hugs her. The time has gone long enough that Kakarot now sees her as a mother. As they hug, we zoom out into space to a ship. It's a Frieza Force ship. Remember from the last time, it's now Vegeta Force. Vegeta is sitting on his throne, talking with other soldiers that he has. Soldiers talking about what planet to conquer next, until Vegeta interrupts. He thinks it's time for them to give Kakarot and Granola a finish, and finish them off. After all, Vegeta is the only Super Saiyan in the universe, right? As he sits coordinates to go to Planet Cereal, he then sees on the other screen that he's getting a call from one of the planets he conquered when he first took over Frieza Force. Vegeta begrudgingly answers the call, though he's getting a call. The soldiers tell Vegeta that his planet is being attacked by two people, one smaller yellow insect and a tall pink creature who both have an M symbol. Vegeta, curious, decides he'll take a detour to that planet before he goes to kill Kakarot and Granola. A few days go by, and Vegeta lands on the planet to set it all in destruction with just Rebel left behind. Vegeta is shocked but also angered. Who did this? Who's strong enough to do this? Was it Kakarot and Granola? No, it couldn't have been due to the soldiers seeing this yellow insect and pink creature. As he flies around, he feels a blast hit him from behind, catching him off guard. Vegeta looks behind him, seeing the tall pink creature and yellow insect. It's Babidi and Dabura. Vegeta looks at them, connecting the two dots together, as he then powers up, not just into Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2. Now, I wouldn't say Vegeta unlocked Super Saiyan 2 a while ago. After all, he doesn't have anyone who's as strong as him, so all he's been doing is training by himself. I would say he got Super Saiyan 2 about a week or two ago before he left his base. Vegeta then rushes towards Dabura, who realizes he can't be to toy around with Vegeta like he thought. As the two fight, Vegeta punches Dabura away, but also sees a weird white ball beside Babidi. So Vegeta and Dabura keep trading punches. Babidi is sensing a lot of evil energy inside Vegeta. Starts to consider a new idea. Slowly and slowly, Vegeta is starting to get the upper hand against Dabura. Babidi, seeing this, realizes he has no other choice but to take over Vegeta's mind. Vegeta keeps pummeling Dabura to the ground, but as he's about to finish the fight, he pauses and starts to grab his head, yelling in pain. Dabura then takes the opportunity to fly back and take a breath. As he does, Vegeta powers up, as an M symbol appears on his forehead. He looks up at Dabura, but he's shocked at Vegeta's new strength. Vegeta raises his hand and reaches the key beam, piercing Dabura through the stomach. Babidi is shocked at the power. As he looks back at Babidi, Babidi starts begging for his life, telling Vegeta that if Babidi dies, so does Vegeta's new power. Vegeta then starts to consider his offer, but as he does, Babidi chants a spell to restrict Vegeta. As he reads his mind even further, Babidi, finally understanding, tells Vegeta they work together to kill Kakarot and Granola. Vegeta is shocked that Babidi knows who the two are. As Babidi removes the restriction on Vegeta, he tells Vegeta his plan. He can go to Planet Cereal right now with one of his spells. Vegeta is confused. Right now? What about his soldiers? What will happen to Vegeta's power? Vegeta scoffs and says he has a deal, but asks Babidi about the weird white ball. Babidi tells Vegeta it contains a strong being named Boo, who has unbelievable power. Vegeta asks how they can release Boo. Babidi says all Vegeta needs to do is fight Kakarot and Granola, and the power from the fight will transfer to energy that will awaken Boo. Vegeta, curious, demands Babidi send him now, to which Babidi does. He casts his spell to teleport himself, Vegeta, and Boo still in the egg to the Planet Cereal. Let's ride a few hours back though. Kakarot and Granola are sparring. Granola on the cusp is something new. He's sparring with Kakarot a lot more now because his brother told him to keep training. Don't let her hold him back. Granola agrees as he calls for Kakarot to train a bit. He wants to fight Kakarot at his strongest to compare the gap in strength. Granola tells Kakarot to hold anything back, go all out at the start. Kakarot agrees as he goes Super Saiyan 2. Granola is a little shocked at power, but he kind of expected this. After all, Kakarot has been training here a lot. Occasionally, Kakarot would go dynamic to catch up with the Namekians. They need help with anything. Granola starts powering up, having both his eyes turn red. Oatmeal tells Granola not to worry and to be calm. He tells Granola to beat Kakarot as they both get in a battle stance. Monaito walks to Muesli, asking her if Granola is finally getting back into training full time. Muesli looks at Monaito and says that after some convincing, she was able to tell him to get back into training. Will have herself pulled him back, and it finally got to him. Monaito smiles, glad to see him back in business. The two start fighting, and I think we know how this is going to end. Kakarot wins with ease, as Monaito walks over to heal the two. Kakarot is curious. He never really asked Granola whatever happened to the heaters. He stopped by Planet Cereal about 2 years to catch up with Granola and Monaito. Granola says he and Monaito were able to convince them that Granola was quitting working for them. Vegeta was definitely upset at first. Was annoyed but kept cool and said that's fine. But don't be surprised if they show up out of nowhere to visit them. They left them on edge, but after a while they came to the conclusion they won't be bothering them anytime soon. Kakarot acknowledges Granola's strength. For not training as hard as he used to, he's still pretty strong. A couple hours go by. Kakarot and Granola are outside meditating and honing their skills mentally. Granola's hair starts to fade in and out of orange as Kakarot watches, but as he's about to fully transform, they hear a loud explosion, ending their meditation. They're both worried what that explosion was until they hear somebody yell at them from above. It's Vegeta, who's beside Babidi smirking. They ask Vegeta what the hell is he doing here and who's beside him. Babidi says that should be the least of their concerns, and that they should be worried about Vegeta. Vegeta laughs and says that Kakarot and Granola are dead, as he draws out all of his power, drawing out the max power he has in Super Saiyan 2. Kakarot is shocked, says why did Vegeta unlock Super Saiyan 2, let alone Super Saiyan at all? Vegeta yells at Kakarot, what? Is he scared of Vegeta's strength? Kakarot can feel all he wants. Kakarot isn't near his strength at all. Kakarot smirks and says Vegeta's not so sure about that, as he powers up into Super Saiyan 2. Vegeta is a little bit surprised, but he should have expected this. After all, he did kill Frieza. As the two rush into battle with each other, Granola figures that he should go for Babidi. As Granola rushes to Babidi, the magician constantly is casting spells to dodge Granola's attacks just in time. Looking over at Kakarot and Vegeta's fight, Kakarot is starting to release the fight, with Babidi drawing out Vegeta's potential and even just slightly stronger than Kakarot. Vegeta knocks Kakarot to the ground, knocking him out of Super Saiyan 2 and into base form. Vegeta acknowledges Kakarot's strength, but knows his strength won't be enough for him to handle. As Vegeta slowly walks to Kakarot, he laughs. Does Vegeta really think this is all Kakarot has? No, not even close. Vegeta is confused, thinking Kakarot is just trying to scare him until Kakarot smirks and says that he still has to use all of his Saiyan heritage. Kakarot yells at Monaito, do it now. Vegeta looks back and sees Monaito with a Saiyan pawn. As he looks back at Monaito, he sees him press a button, that button being the one that shows a hologram of a moon. Vegeta looks back at Kakarot seeing him transforming and getting stronger. Crap, Vegeta needs to do something now. Vegeta tries to shoot a ki blast at Kakarot, but it's already too late. Kakarot turned into a grenade, but he's under control. Over the past few years, Kakarot looked a bit more into his same pod, and remembered a while back Raditz mentioning the button that would make a hologram of the moon. Kakarot decides he should use that to train his control over Grade 8. He turned Grade 8 once when he was younger, but Granola and Monaito were able to stop Kakarot in time. As Grade 8 Kakarot looks at Vegeta, he smiles at him, saying he's not done yet. The ape starts powering up, having his fur turn golden, shocking Vegeta and the others. His strength is incredible. Babidi, on the other hand, is excited beyond belief though. The strength Boo will get will be amazing. Babidi sees that he's able to wake Boo up, but he decides to gamble his luck and let Boo get more strength. Vegeta rushes to the Golden Ape, punching him in the stomach, but as he does, he realizes that Kakarot isn't even flinching at all. The ape grabs Vegeta and starts throwing him on the ground, constantly knocking Vegeta out of the Super Saiyan 2. Babidi decides he should probably stop gambling his luck. He's gotten enough strength, and decides that he needs to wake up Boo now. As he wakes up Boo realizes how immense his strength is. As the egg opens, he realizes this isn't Boo that he was told about, but a Boo that's around like Granola's size, for example. This, of course, being Super Boo. Babidi tells Boo what to do and kill them all, but as he does, Boo laughs and just kills Babidi in one swift blow. Does he really think a weakling like him can just control him? No. Kakarot, still in his Ape form, looks around and seeing Granola rush in to fight Super Boo. As he does, Super Boo smiles as he pummels Granola to the ground, leaving him barely breathing. Kakarot then stops in his tracks, finally coming back to his senses, and as he does, he starts powering up more. Super Boo looks at Kakarot, feeling the power coming from him. He's a little scared, but also excited for where the opponent may be. As Boo and Granola watch Kakarot powering up, they start to notice he's getting smaller and smaller until Kakarot returns to his regular size, but he looks different. He is wearing a shirt that has some red fur on him now with longer hair. Kakarot looks at himself in the reflection of some water. He smirks and gives Boo a serious stare. Kakarot walks over to Granola to Monaito to come over and hear Granola. As Monaito runs over, he tries to shoot a key blast to Monaito, but Kakarot teleports in front of the blast, easily blocking it. Monaito heals Granola, and when he gets back up, he looks at Kakarot, surprised at his power. Kakarot looks back at him smirking, saying to fight beside him. Granola agrees, and as he closes his eyes, he starts powering up. Granola knows this fight will be life or death, and Granola wants to defeat Super Boo, showing his strength has gone a long way since this fight with Frieza. As Granola powers up, his hair starts to turn orange, honing his power. Granola opens his eyes again, looking at Kakarot. This form Granola unlocked is a fan-made form I saw from South Sand. Thanks for him for the transformation idea, this being called Super Cerulean. Kakarot and Granola get in the battle stance ready to fight Super Boo and defend not only Planet Zero, but maybe even the universe. And with that, that's where we'll end off for this part. What do you guys think of this part? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, be sure to like the video and subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. And with that out of the way, I'll see you guys in the next part. Last time, Kakarot and Granola both unlocked new forms to defeat Super Boo once and for all. But will it be enough? Welcome to part 7 of What If MONAITO Raised Kakarot. Now, of course, Kakarot's form is Super Saiyan 4, but they would probably call it Super Saiyan 3. But for our sake, I'll stick with Super Saiyan 4. Granola, of course, now has his own form that was made by the YouTuber South Saiyan, who called it Super Cerulean. But now that we cleared the air on that, let's get back into the fight. Kakarot and Granola both get in a battle stance to fight Super Boo. Boo is a bit scared, but he's confident enough his strength is enough. After all, his strength was given to him by Kakarot himself, technically. Super Boo charges towards the two, who both go in different directions. Granola shoots Ki Blast at Super Boo, but realizes through oatmeal, Boo has no vital points. Whatever he's made out of has no vital points at all. It's definitely going to be a struggle without it hitting vital points, but they can make it work. Kakarot is fending off Boo with ease, having no struggle, but with Boo's weird skills, it's a bit hard to hit him at all. Boo even tries to shoot a beam at Kakarot, but when he dodges it, he sees that it hit a rock, and it turned into chocolate. Granola figures that if Boo has no vital points, he has no other choice but to charge up all his ki into one big blast. Kakarot keeps hitting Boo into a corner, putting him at death's door, but Boo's regeneration is crazy and quick. It's even quicker than Monaito's healing. Boo starts to panic, seeing that Kakarot is starting to recognize his fighting patterns, but then Boo realizes, where's Granola? Once Boo turns around, he sees Granola with a huge ki ball on the tip of his fingers. Boo's eyes widen. What's that power? It's even stronger than Kakarot's. Even Kakarot is shocked. Granola charges enough ki, he can get stronger than Kakarot. Imagine if Granola trained over the 5 years that passed. He would be a lot stronger than Kakarot by a long shot with that move. Boo then turns into some liquid, rushing towards Granola. Granola notices the last second. As soon as he does, he sees a pink liquid behind him that starts to absorb him. Kakarot rushes over, but is shocked to see Granola being absorbed by Boo. Before Granola is fully absorbed, he takes off oatmeal and throws him towards Kakarot, telling him to put it on. Oatmeal can help Kakarot win. Kakarot is shocked at Boo's power rising and rising. As Boo finishes absorbing Granola, he notices he's wearing the Cerulean's clothing. We now see a new version of Boo that we'll call Boonola, a form of Boo with Granola absorbed, of course. Kakarot is angered beyond belief until he hears Oatmeal telling Kakarot to calm down. He has a plan. Sure, Boo has no vital points, but he didn't notice something else about his body. Boo, astonished by his powers, starts charging to the max, shocked at his strength. The planet itself even starts to shake from Boo's power. Boo starts laughing, seeing that no one can stop him now. He looks up to Kakarot, smiling, wondering what he'll do now. Surely he's stronger than Kakarot now. Kakarot, a bit nervous, admits Boo is stronger, but not by a lot. Sure, his strength is better than Kakarot, but is his combat skill and IQ better than Kakarot? Boo, angered at this, starts charging towards Kakarot, who starts dodging Boo's attacks thanks to Oatmeal telling Kakarot what to do. Boo then recognizes Kakarot's hands are glowing, but it's too late for him to react, realizing Kakarot was charging up a ki blast as he shoots it point blank at Boo. Boo moves at the last second, only having his side take the blast head on. Boo starts to regenerate until he sees Kakarot with another ki blast shooting straight ahead at him. Boo jumps out of the way again, but his legs take the blast head on this time. Boo, now with only his torso and higher, looks at Kakarot nervously. Is he crazy? He'll kill Granola if he tries to kill him. Kakarot smirks, seeing that Granola would rather die than be stuck in Boo's body. Boo regenerates his body fully, saying that Kakarot won't get the chance to kill him, because Kakarot will die before him. Kakarot smirks, saying that he guesses he shouldn't be holding back any longer. Boo is shocked. Did he hear that right? Kakarot's been holding back this entire time? Even Oatmeal is shocked. If Kakarot had more strength, then why didn't he use it before Granola was absorbed? Kakarot comments on the matter, saying if he knew Boo could do that, he would have gone out all sooner. Kakarot smirks as he starts to charge up. Before Kakarot decides to charge up, he was around the power of Goku when he was Super Saiyan 3. But now Kakarot is around the strength of Base Vegeta or Super Saiyan Vegeta. You can pick your poison, because either way, we know where this is going to go now. Kakarot starts beating Boo with ease, beating him to a pulp. Boo doesn't even have time to think on what to do. He starts looking around, scared, just barely dodging Kakarot's attacks, until he remembers Gorilla's red eye technique he saw. Boo closes his eyes and reopens them with a more sharper red hue for his eyes as he starts to dodge Kakarot's attacks more. Kakarot is surprised that Boo was able to activate Gorilla's red eye technique that quickly, but no matter. Boo starts to get more attacks on Kakarot more and more, but they don't even do anything to him. Kakarot is too strong. Kakarot then screams, launching Boo away. He puts all his remaining strength left into his fist as he charges up. Boo, looking down at Kakarot, realizes he has no other choice but to blow up the entire planet. Boo lifts up his hand, starting to form a key ball on his own. Two stare each other down. As Boo throws down the key ball, Kakarot starts charging towards the key ball head on. Kakarot then puts his fist ahead of him as it clashes with the key ball. Kakarot is struggling a little bit against Boo, but then Kakarot hears someone yelling for him to win. It's Monaito. He was watching this entire time in case they ever needed the help. Kakarot smirks as he looks back at Boo, charging to his max, pushing beyond his limits. The key ball explodes in the air, leaving Boo shocked, but as the smoke dissipates, Kakarot appears from the smoke, gut punching Boo. Boo then starts throwing up, and he even throws up Granola. Kakarot is a bit disgusted, but as Kakarot gut punches Boo, he then starts charging ki into his hand, which starts bloating Boo. Boo explodes to little pieces. Kakarot then charges a ki blast that incinerates any remaining piece of Boo left behind. Kakarot then goes back to his base form, passing out, falling down with Granola. But as soon as they are about to hit the ground, Monaito runs towards them, trying to catch them, but he won't make it in time. Monaito then tries to use telekinesis, but to no avail. It doesn't work at all. But as soon as they are about to hit the ground, someone catches them, leaving even Monaito shocked. It's Vegeta. Vegeta tosses the two over to Monaito, telling him to heal them quickly. As the two are healed by Monaito, they stand back up, seeing Vegeta. The two get in a fighting stance, but Monaito says how Vegeta saved them, basically. If it wasn't for him, they would have been in a lot more damage. Vegeta scoffs, saying it's his way of thanking them for sparing his life. Kakarot smiles, thanking Vegeta as Granola rolls his eyes. Vegeta starts flying away, but Kakarot asks Vegeta, where's he going? Vegeta tells Kakarot that he has an army to control now. Kakarot and Granola show a little concern, but Vegeta tells them he won't try to kill them as long as they don't stop him from doing his job. Kakarot smiles, saying that can work. But then Vegeta realizes he doesn't have a ship back home. Kakarot and Granola then say that he's going to have to stay here for now until his army finds him. No way in hell are they going to fly Vegeta back to his army. Vegeta, annoyed at this, says he'll stay here for now, but not for long. As they all walk back home, they see two people teleport out of nowhere asking where Boo is. The group is a bit dumbfounded, asking why. The two introduce themselves, saying he's the Supreme Kai and that this is his assistant, Kabito. The group is confused. Supreme Kai? What the hell is that? Shin starts explaining who he is and why he's asking where Boo is. Kakarot smirks, saying that he killed Boo, leaving the two Kais shocked. A mortal killed Boo? But that's impossible. Vegeta then comments that they did a lousy job. They were trying to find Boo to stop him, and a quote-unquote mortal was able to kill him. The Kais, both embarrassed, apologize to the group, asking for details on how Kakarot was able to kill Boo. Time goes by, and the Kais are even more shocked. All three of these mortals are stronger than even them. Shin then sees Monaito there, in a Namekian this far away from Planet Namek. Monaito agrees and starts explaining his story. Shin is a little surprised, saying that he needs to get back on track on doing his job better. Shin then looks at the two Saiyans and Cerulean. He knows they're stronger than him, but he could help them learn new techniques that can help them get stronger. The three are interested, but one turns the offer down. It's Granola. Granola says he's thankful for the offer, but he doesn't want to leave his mom and Monaito here alone. What if the heaters show up again? Shin, a bit disappointed, says the offer still stands if he ever changes his mind. Kakarot looks at Vegeta, saying that he sees a new rival in front of him. As the two start to leave with the Kais, Monaito gives Kakarot one more thing. It's one of the Dragon Balls and a communication radar. He gave the Dragon Ball to Kakarot secretly, trying to not have Vegeta learn about the Dragon Balls and use them for any sort of evil. Monaito gave Kakarot the Dragon Ball in case the heaters ever did stop by and try to get them for any evil cause. Kakarot smiles, saying he'll visit the group soon, Right now, he's got a new rival to train with. Kakarot looks over at Granola, saying he expects him to get strong and to not stop training. Granola smirks, saying he won't. Shin and Kibito ask the two if they're ready, and the two go over to the Kai's ready for the new training as they teleport away. And with that, that's where we'll end off for this part. What'd you guys think of this part? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And be sure to like the video and subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. And with that out of the way, I'll see you guys in the next part. Last time, Kakarot defeated Boo, who absorbed Granola, and also finding out Vegeta's still alive. Then, Shin and Kibito show up, and find out what happens. They then offer the three some training, but only Kakarot and Vegeta take it, while Granola continues to train on and protect Planet Cereal. Welcome back to part 8 of What If MONAITO Raised KAKAROT. 3 years have gone by. Kakarot and Vegeta have been training hard, learning new techniques from the Kais. While Kakarot and Vegeta are sparring, Shin feels Kakarot is on the edge of unlocking a new transformation. His ki feels a bit godly. Kakarot can tell Vegeta wants to unlock the form that Kakarot has right now, that being Super Saiyan 4. Vegeta remembers, though, that he lost his tail when fighting King Cold years ago. That's until other Kai interrupts with an idea. I feel at this point one of the two pulled out the Z-Sword, and with how they most definitely broke the Z-Sword, freeing the Elder Kai. Vegeta asks what the old man can do to help him get Super Saiyan 4. Elder Kai says that maybe certain energy waves could work for him to turn Great Ape. Vegeta's left confused until Shin interrupts. Maybe if they take the Blutz wave that a moon uses for a Saiyan to turn Great Ape, it could work for Vegeta. Kakarot is confused what they mean by Blutz waves. Shin starts explaining that Blutz waves can be emitted by large celestial bodies, like a full moon for example. That's what makes a Saiyan turn Great Ape and boosts their power tenfold. But now comes the next question. Where do they get a moon strong enough to make Vegeta turn Great Ape without a tail? Unfortunately, there's no way they could make a machine. Only a woman with blue hair that owns a corporation could probably do that. But then it clicks for Elder Kai. Maybe they could use some techniques to get his tail. Vegeta is a bit confused on what Elder Kai means until he pulls out some coffee beans for some reason. Vegeta angrily yells at Elder Kai. What kind of sick joke is this? Elder Kai tells Vegeta to just trust the process and start grinding the coffee beans. Kakarot laughs a little bit. He's glad that he was able to keep his tail long enough. Now Kakarot can turn into Super Saiyan 4 with ease. A couple hours pass as Vegeta keeps grinding coffee beans. Vegeta is trying his hardest to not be angered by Elder Kai. But as soon as Vegeta is about to snap and yell at Elder Kai for wasting his time, he then feels something start to itch. It's his tailbone. What the hell? Is this really working? Elder Kai smiles and says there's only one step left. He tells Vegeta to drop his pants, leaving everyone on the planet shocked. Vegeta snaps, turning Super Saiyan 2, saying, just what the hell is he saying? Has he gone mad? Elder Kai says not to worry as he pulls out pliers and tells Kakarot to hold on to him while Vegeta flies away to help pull the tail out. Now, I won't go into details on how this goes, but the process works and Vegeta gets his tail back. Vegeta smiles in glee, saying to Kakarot he'll catch up to him soon. 2 months go by. Kakarot and Vegeta are sparring as usual. Shin notices even more how much godly ki Kakarot is getting. He's close to getting something new, just doesn't realize yet. Shin is about to tell Kakarot he's close to something new, but as he's about to, a beam of light appears behind the Kai. The light dissipates and the Kai is left speechless. It's Beerus. What is he doing here? Beerus yawns as it points at Vegeta and Kakarot and says he's here for those two. Kakarot and Vegeta are shocked, but Kakarot is a bit confused. Who's Beerus? Vegeta looks at Kakarot, telling him that he's the god of destruction. No one is stronger than him. Even Frieza was afraid of Beerus. Kakarot, surprised, doesn't believe that Beerus could be that strong, right? Beerus smiles, saying that if he's so cocky, they can fight. Kakarot smirks and says he was waiting for Beerus to ask that, as he powers up to full power Super Saiyan 4. As Kakarot gets into a battle stance, Beerus looks at him sternly. He senses a little bit of God Ki. Maybe the Kai helped him unlock God Ki through the training. Beerus says it outright. Kakarot is on the cusp of something new. Meanwhile, Vegeta's far behind Kakarot. Vegeta, annoyed, powers up to Super Saiyan 4. After a while, he is finally able to unlock Super Saiyan 4 for himself. He goes beside Kakarot and says how the two are going to fight together, leaving Kakarot a bit surprised that Vegeta, out of all the people, are asking to fight together. Kakarot looks at Beerus, who nods and says he'll allow it. Kakarot smirks as he and Vegeta charge towards Beerus. Beerus smiles as he dodges their attacks with ease, with neither of them landing a single blow. Kakarot, now a bit annoyed, asks Beerus to stop dodging their attacks and fight back. But as soon as he finishes his sentence, Beerus teleports in front of Vegeta and flicks him in the forehead, not only hitting him far, but also knocking him out. Kakarot's shocked at his speed. How do you do that so fast and it's such a simple attack too? Beerus teleports in front of Kakarot, just having a finger pointing at his forehead, leaving Kakarot frozen in fear. Beerus smiles as he lowers his finger. He comments on the fact that Kakarot was wise to not attack him just then. Kakarot powers down, still scared for his life. Beerus tells Whis to go heal Vegeta and wake him up. As Vegeta gets back up and flies back over, the two ask Beerus to train them both to get stronger. Beerus smiles as he looks at Whis, who sighs. Beerus says to the two that Whis will be the one training them for now. Once they achieve God forms, they can fight him. Kakarot asks Shin to let Granola and Monaito know so they don't worry where they are. Shin nods as he teleports away to Planet Cereal. Kakarot and Vegeta smirk as they both agree and walk over to Beerus and Whis. As the group teleports back to Beerus' planet, Beerus yawns as he says he's going to take a nap for now. The two are left dumbfounded at him saying that, and even Whis sighs. Whis looks at the two and says they're going to be training with him for a while. Once they unlock God forms, they can train with Beerus more. Vegeta smirks as he looks at Kakarot to keep an eye. Vegeta will surpass him sooner or later. Months go by as Kakarot and Vegeta are training. Kakarot has unlocked Super Saiyan God at this point, but Vegeta is a different case. For some reason, he's unlocked God Ki, but when he tries to power up into his own Super Saiyan God, he just powers up to regular Super Saiyan 4. Little did they know, we're introducing a slightly original form. Vegeta used Super Saiyan 4 a lot during training, so now he can use the form as his base, like what Gohan and Goku did in the Cell Saga with Super Saiyan, for example. Whis explains this to the two, even pointing out how Vegeta has surpassed Kakarot's power now. Even Kakarot is surprised that Vegeta has gotten so strong in such little time. Though Whis comments on how Kakarot could surpass Vegeta, like what they did combining the Great Ape and Super Saiyan. What if Kakarot combines that with Super Saiyan God? It then clicks for Kakarot. Of course. Why didn't you think of that sooner? Vegeta scoffs, saying he won't let Kakarot surpass him that easily, as the two continue sparring. As the hours go by, Beerus finally wakes up, noticing how much stronger they've gotten. The two smile, asking to fight Beerus, but this time as a 1v1. Beerus asks, why not together? Sure, they won't win anyways, but their chances would be higher of lasting longer against him. Kakarot says how they both want to grow strongly, separately. Not only do they not live with each other, but Vegeta has a whole army to control. He put his most trustworthy soldier in charge, that being Tarble. Vegeta found Tarble eventually and trained him hard enough to make sure he's stronger than any of the soldiers. Sure, Tarble doesn't like what Vegeta does, but Vegeta asks him to at least look over the army. He doesn't need him to command them to take over planets. Kakarot says he wants to fight Beerus first, seeing that as of right now, he's weaker than Vegeta. Beerus smiles, surprised that Vegeta surpassed Kakarot that quickly. Kakarot says it won't be that way for long, as he transforms into Super Saiyan God, surprising the God of Destruction in its transformation. As the two start fighting, Vegeta notices how the fight is lasting much longer compared to when they first fought Beerus. This just shows their growth since then, how much stronger they've grown. The fight goes on longer, of course, and even Beerus has to use a bit more power to fight Kakarot, but in the end, Beerus ends up winning, as he charges up his power a little bit more and knocks Kakarot out with a gut punch. Whis heals Kakarot and tells him to watch closely on the fight between Vegeta and Beerus. Vegeta powers up, the only difference being his eyes turn a fierce red, the same red as Super Saiyan God. Even the aura of Super Saiyan God appears around him. Beerus is surprised at how much stronger Vegeta is, smiling in excitement. The two start clashing, leaving Kakarot stunned at their fight. But as he's watching, he notices something in his pocket is vibrating. It's the radio Monaito gave him a while back. Kakarot answers the call, hearing a concerned Granola on the other end. Granola says how someone from a planet called Earth stopped at Namek for help, and the Namekians let him here to get help. Kakarot is confused and asks what he means, so Granola puts the person on the radio. He says he's an Earthling from Earth. His name is Tien, and he needs Kakarot and Vegeta's help to stop someone, an evil Namekian named Piccolo. And with that, that's what we'll end off for this part. What do you guys think of this part? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, be sure to like the video and subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. And with that out of the way, I'll see you guys in the next part. Last time, Vegeta finally surpassed Kakarot. But Kakarot learned he could get stronger by combining Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan. As the two fight against Beerus again, Kakarot gets a call from Granola, who has a visitor with him. It's Tien. He's asking for help to stop an evil Namekian on Earth once and for all. His name is Piccolo. What will the group do this time? Welcome back to part 9 of What If MONAITO Raised KAKAROT. Whis teleports Kakarot and Vegeta back to Planet Cereal, as he then gives them a communicator to call him when they're ready to come back to Beerus' planet. Kakarot and Vegeta meet the Earthling Tien, asking how he got here. Tien explains that the god on their Earth, Kami, before he was forcibly fused into Piccolo, said to go to his home planet, Planet Namek. The Dragon Balls there should be able to help him out. As Tien landed on Namek, after his friend Bulma repaired Kami's old ship, the Namekian named met Tien, and as Tien explained the situation, Nail suggested he heads towards Planet Syria. There's 3 strong people on there that may be able to help him out. Kakarot looks at Monaito, who is a little shocked. An evil Namekian? But that's impossible. Namekians are known to be a peaceful species. The group agrees to come with Tien to stop the evil Namekian, but Monaito interrupts and says that he's coming along. He wants to see this evil Namekian. The group is reluctant at first until Muesli convinces them to let him come along. She'll be fine on the planet by herself. Grilla agrees and says Monaito can come with. As the group gets into the ship, Tien says that it will take a little over a month and a half. Kakarot says that should be enough time for them to train and get stronger, just in case anything does happen. Grilla asks Vegeta and Kakarot just how much stronger they've gotten, and if they can help him get stronger. He knows he's far behind them, and if anything happens, he'll just be useless for them at the end of the day. Kakarot smiles and says he'll train Granola to help him get stronger and catch up with them. A month and a half goes by as they finally land on Earth. Before they fully landed, Tien asks them to lower the key as well as possible. As they leave the ship, they look around and see the destruction around them. Buildings destroyed to nothing but rubble. Huge craters left behind from explosions and fights. Kakarot is a little concerned and wondering what Namekian is this evil to do something like this. As the group flies around, Oatmeal starts to detect a signature far ahead. Granola tells the group, and Tien says it has to be Piccolo. There's no way it's anyone else. As the group fly back down to the ground to hide behind some rubble, we see Piccolo with other Earthlings guarding his front gate. Tien says those 2 are forced to work for Piccolo, or else they would be dead along with their friends. The short bald one is named Krillin, as the taller one with longer hair is named Yamcha. Kakarot is angered. How can a Namekian do this to this planet? Namekians are known to be a peaceful species. Something had to have happened to this Namekian in the past. Tien then says how this isn't the exact same Namekian he and his friends fought long ago. Someone named Pilaf, named a different version of Piccolo, who called himself the Demon King Piccolo. Tien and his friends got strong enough to kill Demon King Piccolo, but he shot out an egg before he was fully killed, creating the Piccolo they see in front of them. Gorilla says how he has a clean shot on Piccolo right now, but Vegeta says how it won't be enough. Sure, this guy's grown up on Earth with no strong warriors, but he somehow got stronger to even rival them. Tien comments on how a while before Piccolo fused to Kami, he made a wish to the Dragon Balls here. Dragon Balls on Earth? What wish did he make? Tien says Piccolo made a wish for Shenron, the Earth's dragon, to draw out his potential. Shenron was resistant at first until Piccolo threatened him. Then, once Piccolo got his potential unlocked, he went and forced Kami to fuse with him, making him this strong. Vegeta scoffs at saying his power is incredible, but it won't be enough to kill them. Tien asks just what they plan on doing until Monaito puts his hand on Tien's shoulder, telling him to trust them. Tien sighs, deciding to put his trust into them. A few hours go by as Piccolo sits on his throne. He then notices someone walking towards the front gate, saying he's here to talk to Piccolo. Piccolo smiles, telling him to proceed. It's Kakarot. He says how he wants to talk to Piccolo about why he's doing this. Piccolo looks at him, suspiciously saying how he's not from this planet, surprising Kakarot. Piccolo notes how he can sense Kakarot's strength. He would have known about Kakarot's existence if he's this strong. Piccolo then smirks as he shoots a ki beam in a different direction, surprising Kakarot. Little did Kakarot know that's where Granola and Vegeta were. Luckily though, the 2 were able to dodge the beam just in time. Kakarot angered, powers up to Super Saiyan God, charging towards Piccolo. Piccolo dodges Kakarot's punch as he then kicks Kakarot away, powering up. His skin turns a brighter color, and the lines on his skin disappear. Naito, watching from afar, is shocked. Namekian has this kind of strength hidden away. Kakarot keeps trying to throw punches at Piccolo, but he just keeps dodging with ease. Piccolo then grabs his fist as he punches Kakarot across the face, sending him flying. Vegeta then powers into his god form of Super Saiyan 4, which we never did give a name, but I'll name it Super Saiyan Apex, a combination of Super Saiyan 4 and Super Saiyan God. Piccolo is impressed at Vegeta's power. As the 2 fight, Piccolo takes note of something. Vegeta can hold this much power for a long time. The max he can hold onto a transformation is 10 minutes max. As the fight continues unfolding between Vegeta and Piccolo, Monaito runs over to Kakarot, picking him up alongside Granola flying over. Kakarot smirks, saying he's impressed that they're making his power. Despite growing up on a planet with no strong warriors like them, for example, he's really strong. Monaito is about to heal Kakarot, so he declines it, leaving Monaito confused. Kakarot says he's done asking Monaito for help with healing. He only wants Monaito to use it from here on out, only when he's on death's door. Granola snaps at Kakarot, telling him to put his sane pride to the side. Look at the fight between Vegeta and Piccolo. Piccolo's stronger than any of them. Kakarot smirks as he looks at Granola. He says that he knows Granola is lying. He's holding something back from all of them. Granola nervously says that Kakarot does as well. Kakarot agrees. The two say to each other they need to fight alongside each other again, like they did against Boo. The fight between Vegeta and Piccolo comes to an end, as Piccolo pierces through Vegeta's stomach, knocking him back down to his base form. As Piccolo is about to do the finishing blow, a sudden flash of blue shows up out of nowhere, sending Vegeta right beside Monaito. As Vegeta wakes back up from Monaito healing him, Vegeta looks up, shocked at how he's sensing. He sees Kakarot with blue hair, so this is the power Whis was talking about a while ago. Vegeta then senses another godly presence as he looks behind Piccolo and sees Granola with long orange hair and an aura like Super Saiyan God. Kakarot, of course, unlocked Super Saiyan Blue, but Granola unlocked a completely original form I'm going to give him, and we'll call it Ultra Cerulean. A combination of Super Cerulean that salads and gave Granola and my own original twist to it. Piccolo is shocked at their new power. It's amazing. Piccolo shoots a ki blast at the two just float there, taking the blast head on. As the smoke dissipates, Kakarot appears from it, gut-punching Piccolo, as Granola appears behind them, shooting a vital point, leaving Piccolo just frozen in the air. Kakarot then kicks Piccolo down to the ground. As soon as he's about to do the finishing blow, Tien yells at Kakarot to not kill him. If they kill him, then the Dragon Balls disappear on Earth for good. Kakarot begrudgingly says that it's the only choice he has, but as he's about to kill Piccolo, Tien then yells again, saying he has a sealing technique he can use. Kakarot, reluctant at first, teleports behind Piccolo, fully knocking him out. Tien then pulls out a small capsule that he clicks and throws to release a pot with a seal on it. Tien then informs the Mafia bot to seal Piccolo away, and since he's unconscious, it works. Group all power down as they fly back down to the ground. Tien then hears something yelling behind him. It's Yamcha and Krillin asking who these guys are and how strong they are to stop Piccolo. Tien smiles as he introduces Yamcha and Krillin to the group. Krillin is talking with the group to Oatmeal detects something. A small robotic bug watching them. Krillin points it out as he destroys it, leaving the group concerned. Who's watching them? Why is someone watching them? We zoom out to a secret base with a huge screen that goes static. As someone yells, concerned onto them, we see an android alongside a smaller person telling them it's alright. It's Dr. Jarrell and Hedda. When Piccolo took over the planet, he destroyed all prisons, freeing the prisoners, and one of those front prisons Dr. Hedda was in. Dr. Jarrell found his grandson, saying how they can become an unstoppable force if they team up and get DNA from the fighters. Dr. Hedda tells Jarrell to worry not. They got enough DNA. Before the short fight, those aliens had against Piccolo before he developed the one and only Cell Max. And with that, that's where we'll end off for this part. What do you guys think of this part? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, be sure to like the video and subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. And with that out of the way, I'll see you guys in the next part. Last time, Kakarot and his allies went to Earth to help Tien and the planet to stop Piccolo once and for all, by Kakarot using Super Saiyan Blue, and Granola using a new original form called Ultra Cerulean. As they defeated Piccolo, they also found out Dr. Shrill and Hedo had teamed up to create something to take over the planet for themselves. Will the group be able to stop them? Welcome back to part 10 of What If MONAITO Raised Kakarot. A couple weeks go by. The group found the Dragon Balls since they met Bulma, and she had a radar to find them. They called Shenron and wished for Kami to have control over the fusion of him and Piccolo. The wish is made and Shenron disappears. Tien opens the seal, and Kami pops out of the pot. It still looks like Piccolo, but Kami's under control now. The group explains to Kami what happened and why he's so strong now. Kami is shocked that someone, let alone two people, were able to stop Piccolo with ease. Kami is a bit concerned that they may turn on him and Earthlings, but Kakarot tells Kami not to worry. As the group fly back to Kami's locale, we'll be able to text yet another robotic bug and tells Granola. Granola tells everyone, and Kami starts to show concern. As the group land back at Kami's lookout, Kami looks at the edge of the lookout as he then gives a horrified look. He sees a large red and green bug. As he tells the other, Kakarot starts to sense powers, and as he senses the power where Kami is looking, he doesn't detect a huge power, but for Kami's sake, he, Vegeta, and Tien will go check it out. Kakarot tells Granola to get in touch with Beerus and Whis to let them know where they are. As the three fly towards the power, they notice an alarm going off with distant screaming. As they reach the location, they notice something horrifying. Kami was right, a big red and green bug. Dr. Gero and Hedo look at the three smiling. Hedo says he'll take down the villains, leaving the three confused. As the three explain to Hedo what's going on, he starts to show concern. But as he's about to ask Gero what's going on, Gero pierces through Hedo, leaving everyone shocked. Gero states that he was just using Hedo for his tech to help take over Earth for his own. Tien recognizes who Gero is due to Bulma talking about him before. Gero orders Somax to kill the three, but as he does, Somax then steps on Gero, killing him. The three are disgusted at the aftermath from Somax squishing Gero, but I'll spare you the details. Somax screams as the area starts to flatten around him, leaving the three shocked at his power. How did something this big slip by them for this long? Were the little robotic bugs Granola saw giving Somax information? Somax rushes towards the three at fast speeds, catching them all off guard. Somax knocks Kakarot away towards him as Vegeta tries shooting a ki blast that just simply bounces off of Somax. Vegeta, left speechless, and yells at Tien if he has any ideas on how to stop this guy, to which Tien is just stunned and scared on what to do. Kakarot, now in Super Saiyan Blue, charges towards Somax, trying his best to fend off the insect, but he's not even leaving a scratch on him. All he's doing is just tickling him. Somax swats Kakarot away yet again, as he then shoots a ki ball from his mouth right towards Kakarot. Kakarot shoots his own ki beam, struggling to stop the ki blast until Vegeta appears beside Kakarot and shoots his own, just barely stopping the ki blast from hitting them. Kakarot, breathing heavily, asks Vegeta if he has any ideas, to which Vegeta says he doesn't. As the two charge to their max, they charge towards Somax, then go separate directions to hopefully confuse the huge insect. Somax, not being able to hit both at once, screams as a black electric aura appears around him, shocking Vegeta and Kakarot, fall to the ground unconscious, leaving only Tien. As Somax starts to lift his foot to squish Vegeta and Kakarot, a quick orange light flies through, grabbing the two, saving them from becoming flattened. It's Granola in his Ultra Cerulean form. He tosses the two over to Monaito, who flew over with Kami. Monaito heals the two, waking them up. Kakarot is a bit annoyed at Monaito doing this, but Monaito then tells him they're about to be killed by Somax if it wasn't for Granola. Kami tells Kakarot that they were able to get in contact with Beerus and Whis, but also say they need to meet them for something urgent as well. Kakarot looks over at Somax, who is angered at not being able to hit Granola at all. Granola is shooting at Somax's vital points until Obio detects something. Somax has a huge vital point at the top of his head. He tells Granola, who shouts at everyone else, where to aim their attacks at. Kakarot tells Granola to just keep charging Ki Blast. They can allow Somax for a bit. Kakarot looks at Vegeta, and nods at him, as the two start powering up. Something is different with Kakarot's aura. It starts turning a dark blue with his eyes, turning a dark shiny blue. Vegeta also starts powering up with electricity appearing around him, and his hair being more spiky. As the two then war together, they're both shocked at the power they have. Kakarot now, of course, unlocked Blue Evolution, but Vegeta unlocks something new that we'll call Extreme Apex. The power of Super Saiyan Apex, drawn out to its absolute max. Even Granola is shocked at their new power, asking if they think that's enough. The two disagree, saying it won't be enough to stop Somax. Kakarot looks at Granola, telling him to keep charging his final attack, no matter what happens to them. Granola was reluctant at first, but knows this is the best decision. Vegeta and Kakarot charge towards Somax, who screams and starts to shoot ki balls at the two. The two start to deflect the ki balls easier, but they struggle a little bit. Somax starts to get annoyed by the two, them constantly shooting ki blasts at it. They aren't hurting him at all, but it's starting to annoy him. Granola yells at Kakarot saying that he's ready to shoot Somax. They just need to hold him in place. Kakarot nods as he tells Vegeta they need to hold him in place, but they don't have any moves that can keep him in place. That's until Tien tells them to move. As they look up at him, they see his hands are together in the shape of a square. As the two move, Tien yells out Kiko Ho. It doesn't hurt Somax, but it does keep him in place long enough for Granola to finally shoot his ki blast. And as he does, Somax notices, but it's too late for him. The shot pierces the top of Somax's head. As he does, Obio detects something is off, as Granola yells at them to get away. Something isn't right. Selmax's whole body starts to glow as the group all fly away from him. They see a big explosion behind them. If they didn't get out of there, they most likely would have died from the explosion. As the group fly back, the commies look out. They're then greeted not only Kami, but Beerus and Whis as well. Kakarot then explains to Beerus what happened and why they came to Earth, but Beerus stops him and interrupts him and says he has more important news. The Omni King, Grand Zeno, has called all universes for a tournament. They need 10 contestants each. If you lose all your contestants, the entire universe you live in is destroyed to nothing. The last universe standing gets Super Dragon Balls. Each Dragon Ball scores for anything without any consequences at all. You see, it leaves the entire group shocked. What the hell? Why does someone like Zeno think this is okay? Lee says that Zeno said there's too many universes to look after. So, he thinks it'd be easier if one of the ones with the lower mortal levels could fight their way to living. Beerus tells Kakarot he needs to get a team of 10 people together to fight to keep their universe safe. Kakarot tells Beerus that he, Vegeta, and Granola are a guarantee for the team. They don't know who to use for the rest. Tien interrupts and says that he, Krillin, and Yamcha can join. Sure, they may not be as strong as them, but they're strong on their own terms. Kakarot smiles as he says that's alright. 6 contestants. They only need 4 more. That's when Kami speaks up. Since he's at a young age now and as strong as the Piccolo they fought, he could help them. That's 7 contestants. They only need 3 more. That's when it clicks for Kakarot. Of course. Nailed. Kakarot asks Whis if they can head over to Planet Namek. There's a Namekian warrior there that could help them. Beerus is slightly annoyed that they can't make 3 contestants closer to them, but a contestant is a contestant, so they all head to Namek. As they land on Namek, Kakarot looks around for Nail, but runs into Mori first. Kakarot explains what's going on, as concern starts to grow on Mori's face. He calls for Nail, who flies over and is told what's going on. Nail says he hasn't gotten much stronger since they've last met, but they have an idea. What if all the Namekians merge into Nail? They use either Monaito's Dragon Balls or the Earth's Dragon Balls to separate them after. As the group all look at Beerus, he sighs as he says that's fine. The group all say they'll be back later to get Nail. After all, they have about a day left to get 2 more contestants. Kakarot, Vegeta, Tien, and Granola all head back to Beerus' planet, pondering on who else to get. That's when it clicks for Vegeta. He gets horrible. He may not be as strong as him, Kakarot, but another Saiyan wouldn't hurt. Kakarot then asks Vegeta if he knows about any other Saiyans. Maybe they could find a mutant Saiyan who can't control their power, but Vegeta tells Kakarot not to get too far ahead of himself. Beerus sends Whis and Vegeta to go get Tarble, as the rest of them will think of what else to do. That's when Tien interrupts. There's an old lady named Fortune Teller Baba who could bring people from the afterlife back to the living world temporarily for 24 hours. The group keeps it in mind, but they don't know who they could get from the afterlife to help them. That's when Granola gets an idea. He leans over to Kakarot, who smiles. Of course, why didn't you think of that? Beerus calls for Shin, asking him to take the 3 of them back to Earth. It's easier and quicker for him to teleport them there instead of Whis. Shin kaikais them back to Earth, as Tien shows the 2 where Fortune Teller Baba is. As they meet her, they tell her what's going on. She's showing fear, but says that one of them can come with her to meet King Yama, and let him know the situation. Kakarot speaks up, saying he'll go with Baba. As the 2 head into a building, Baba opens a door they both walk through. Kakarot, surprised, looks around him. Little clouds, weird spirits in a line. Baba tells him to follow her, and that they'll meet King Yama. As they meet him, they tell him the situation. He sighs and tells them that they can go to heaven to get someone. But that's when Kakarot speaks up actually. They need to go to hell for who they're looking for. Yama, confused a little bit, lets them know how risky it is going to hell. Kakarot says he knows the risk and he's willing to take them. As Yama allows them to go to hell, Kakarot looks around and tells Baba to wait here. He'll go get who he's looking for. As Kakarot starts flying around, looking for who he's looking for, he decides to make his life a bit easier to find who he's looking for. Kakarot powers up in the Super Saiyan. Surely the person he's looking for can sense ki, and lo and behold, he's right. Someone yells at him, asking if he's a Saiyan. That's when Kakarot smiles as he transforms into base, shocking the person. Kakarot introduces himself. His name's Kakarot. Shocking the Saiyan, making Kakarot smile, saying it's good to see his father finally. And with that, that's where we'll end off for this part. What do you guys think of this part? And let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, be sure to like the video and subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. And with that out of the way, I'll see you guys in the next part. Last time, Beerus told Kakarot and the others about the tormented power. Kakarot even recruits someone from the dead, his father Bardock. Will our team be enough? Welcome to part 11 of What If MONAITO Raised KAKAROT. all the team meets on Planet Vegeta to check out their team and who's all on it. As I listed off, I'm going to name them off in order of strength, so our team from weakest to strongest is the following: Yamcha, Krillin, Tien, Tarble, Bardock, Kami, Nail, Granola, Vegeta, and Kakarot. But now merging with all their mechans, he got a huge power boost to be on par with Granola at his max. As they arrive at the tournament, Beerus tells them to stick together and not to separate. If they separate, the chances of Universe 7 being erased will be higher. As Vegeta is listening, Kakarot bumps Vegeta's shoulder, pointing over at a group of 3 people. A guy and 2 girls were staring right back at them. This, of course, being Kaba, Kale, and Khalifa from Universe 6. Kaba walks up to Kakarot and Vegeta and introduces himself, saying he's a Saint from Universe 6. Vegeta and Kakarot are shocked. Saints in a different universe? That's when Whis interrupts and says Universe 6 and 7 are twin universes, which is pretty rare. Whis points over to Chamba and says that he's Beerus' twin brother. That's when Kakarot and Vegeta sense another power. A different universe that just came by. Universe 11. Kakarot and Vegeta stare at one person in particular. Jiren. Kakarot remembers Whis mentioning how in a different universe there's someone who may be even stronger than his god of destruction. That must be him. Vegeta tells Kakarot that they shouldn't go easy on him. He's definitely going to be a struggle. As the group go back to meet up for the countdown, Kakarot, Bardock, and Vegeta are staring down Jiren, ready to fight him. As the Grand Priest introduces himself in Zeno, they go over the rules once again. Now with the rules set and being explained, Grand Priest starts counting down for the tournament of power to begin. As soon as the Grand Priest finishes counting down, Universe 7 6 goes, except 3 people, that being Bardock, Kakarot, and Vegeta, of course. Kami is annoyed yelling at them, but Granola tells him it's pointless. He should have expected that to happen. As they dash towards Jiren, they get interrupted by the Saints of Universe 6 who want to fight them. Kakarot and Vegeta are about to knock them out with ease, but Bardock interrupts saying he wants to fight them. He knows they can beat them with ease, but he wants to show the two how much he's grown. Khalifa laughs, thinking that someone dead is the best they have, but Bardock's powering up. His hair turns golden, and spiky golden, and then it starts growing and growing, shocking the 3 Saiyans. Even Kakarot is surprised. He's never seen this form himself either. Bardock says he calls the form Super Saiyan 3. Bardock looks at the Saiyans, asking if they're going to transform to where there's an awkward silence for a bit. They don't have any of these forms, leaving Kakarot and Vegeta a bit dumbfounded. Bardock, a bit annoyed, starts dashing towards them, beating all 3 without breaking a sweat. As he's fighting the Saiyans, Bardock notices that Kale's power is going up and down, which she has hidden that she doesn't want to show. Bardock kicks Kaba and Khalifa away and catches a punch from Kale. Bardock says how he knows she's holding back, not going all out. Khalifa is surprised and a bit annoyed. Kale's holding back? Kale, embarrassed, agrees that she's been holding back. Bardock says if she keeps holding back, the universe and the other Saiyans are done for. That's when Kale snaps. She roars in anger as she starts powering up with the green aura. Her pupils go away as she stands up in a green aura with green hair now. Bardock is shocked at the power she has. Kale smiles as she dashes towards Bardock. He's about to counter her attack until someone blocks the punch first. It's Kakarot in his Super Saiyan God form. All the Saiyans besides Vegeta, of course, are shocked at his strength. They can't even sense his ki at all, besides Vegeta, of course. Kale tries to move fists away, but Kakarot has a strong grip on it, stopping her from getting away. Kakarot punches her in the gut as Bardock rushes in, kicking her away. The two look at each other nodding as they both charge in to fight Kale. Kaba and Khalifa are just left there speechless. As much as they'd like to fight alongside Kale, she has no control over her power, and they wouldn't even be able to get into a fight. Vegeta walks over to the 2 Saiyans sitting to fight with him now, as he powers up into Super Saiyan Apex. The 2 Saiyans are shocked at the transformation, but before they can even react, Vegeta is already dashing in, hitting the 2 out of the arena, eliminating them. Kakarot and Bardock realize they're getting nowhere with Kale, but she's taking damage, and she's apparently getting stronger. Kakarot says they need to do one huge attack, as Bardock agrees. Kakarot now transforming into Super Saiyan Blue, and Bardock using all his remaining strength in Super Saiyan 3. The 2 charge ki blasts together and shoot it towards Kale, eliminating her, sending her off the arena. Kakarot smirks as he then says to Bardock how they fight together is perfect. As they try to go find Jiren, they get interrupted. It's Toppo. Toba admires that they have the courage to try and fight Jiren, but they'll need to get through him first. That's when Vegeta interrupts. He says he'll take care of Toba. Bardock and Kakarot rush past Toba, who tries to catch him, but as he tries, Vegeta powers up into Extreme Apex, kicking Toba away. Let's go over the others real quick. Granola is fighting alongside the others until he notices someone moving quickly with ease. It's Hit. Granola can tell he's using time skip. He needs to fight Hit one-on-one. Nobody else stands a chance against him. Meanwhile, Kami and Nail are with the Earthlings until the Namekians from Universe 6 fight them. When the Namekians from Universe 6 power up, Nail can tell right away. They also did what he did. They merged all the Namekians on their planet. Meanwhile, the Earthlings are fighting the weaker contestants to thin numbers. Jiren is in the middle of the arena, meditating. He flinches as he stops meditating. He opens his eyes and sees Kakarot and Bardock both staring Jiren down. Jiren closes his eyes again, about to go back to the meditation, until Bardock interrupts him with a ki bust. Jiren opens his eyes again, more power into it. The wind starting to send Kakarot and Bardock back a bit. Kakarot smirks. This is definitely the strongest opponent he's ever faced so far. Kakarot powers up into Blue Evolution, while Bardock powers up into Super Saiyan 3. Jiren just keeps staring him down, but he's looking at Kakarot the most. Jiren charges toward him, simply punching Bardock away, almost hitting off the arena until Tien catches him. Jiren looks over at Kakarot, who gets on guard, taking Jiren's punches, not even giving him a chance to fight back. Kakarot charges up and explodes the arena around him, forcing Jiren to step back for a second. Kakarot knows he has no chance of beating Jiren. He needs to tap into what Beerus has been wanting him to get. But as soon as Jiren is about to go and finish Kakarot off, he gets blasted in the back, almost hitting one of his vital points. It's Granola. He just finished his fight with Hit and barely won. Granola powers up back into Ultra Cerealian, flying beside Kakarot, who powers back up into Blue Evolution. Bardock and Tien are watching from afar. They look towards Vegeta, who's still fighting Toba. This guy has a lot of power. Toba and Vegeta are dead even right now. Vegeta steps back a bit, charging up to Extreme Apex, shocking Toba. Vegeta says he knows him and Kakarot are on the edge of unlocking something new, something that may rival even Beerus. Toba says Vegeta stands no chance. Toba starts powering up more, but not into his God of Destruction transformation, but to the point where his ki feels like it. Vegeta then smirks. So that's what he needs to be aiming for. Vegeta charges in, as does Toba. The two are clashing as Kakarot and Granola are still staring down Jiren, who now has Nora around him. We're finally going to see him use more power. As they charge in the fight, Kakarot also takes note of Toba's ki. That's what Beerus is aiming for him to get. Kakarot understands it now. Even with Kakarot and Granola fighting alongside each other, they still stand no chance against him. Jiren knocks the two away, but as soon as the two are about to fall off the arena, Granola appears behind Kakarot, kicking him back towards the arena, shocking him. Granola says that he needs focus. Don't worry about the others. Show your Saiyan pride. As Granola finishes saying it, he teleports to the stands. As Kakarot lands back on the arena, he's angered, annoyed, disappointed, upset, and even sad. Ever since he started training with Vegeta, he hasn't tried to reach out and talk to Granola, the person who helped him grow. Kakarot looks at Jiren, who shows up in front of him, surprised that Granola sacrificed himself. Kakarot says how he's done being peaceful, he's done being kind. He needs to be a full-blooded Saiyan now. And just like Beerus said, before creation comes destruction. Kakarot starts powering up. Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan Blue, Blue Evolution. Kakarot then says how he's not done yet, as he keeps powering up. His aura slowly turns purple, shocking all of the gods of destruction. Even Toba and Vegeta stopped their fight, shocked at Kakarot's power. Jiren is even getting a bit nervous, feeling his power. Jiren tries to ki blast at him, but when he makes contact with his aura, the blast just disappears to nothing. Beerus smiles. Kakarot's done it. He's achieved the power of God of Destruction. Kakarot stops powering up. His hair now purple. Kakarot's unlocked a new form. A form he'll call Ultra Ego. Kakarot gives a menacing stare at Jiren, who steps back a bit. He says Kakarot's power up will improve. Worthless against him. Jiren starts powering up, showing his true power that even knocks out the weaker contestants that are still in. Kakarot and Jiren stare each other down, both at full power. As the two charge towards each other, let's see what the rest of the team is doing. Vegeta, still fighting Toba, is getting the upper hand and is about to beat him. Kami now eliminated the two Namekians from Universe 6 now. just eliminating other contestants who may have stayed in the arena from Jiren powering up. Bardock is watching from afar with Tien, who fights the contestants that try to fight him. Krillin and Yamcha unfortunately were eliminated not too long after Granola was. Tarbell's also been fighting contestants, but he's struggling fighting this one guy from Universe 6 who looks like Frieza. Kakarot and Jiren keep clashing. Jiren showing more strength. Jiren doesn't even know what to do. If he tries to use Ki Blast, they just disappear from his aura. He tries punching Kakarot, and it does hit him. It only makes him stronger. As the fight keeps going, Kakarot is getting faster and stronger than Jiren, but then Kakarot catches Jiren's fist, saying that the fight was fun, but he needs to finish this before he de-transforms. Kakarot gut punches Jiren as he then shoots a Ki Blast, sending Jiren off the arena. Toppo tries to go and catch Jiren, but Vegeta makes sure that doesn't happen at all. Kakarot then goes back to base exhausted. Kakarot looks at Bardock, then to the edge of the arena. He smiles, saying that the rest of them have it from here. He needs to rest. Kakarot jumps off the arena, angry and fierce, who snaps at Kakarot. Kakarot tells him not to worry and just watch. The rest of them have got it from here. Vegeta knocks Toppo off the arena finally, leaving only one more opponent who is tricky to fight, that being Dispo. Dispo's just been running around, eliminating other contestants. He even tried to hit Kami at one point, who was able to dodge it. Vegeta goes back to his base form, that being Super Saiyan 4. He sees behind him Dispo about to knock him out. That's when Nail appears in front of Vegeta, blocking the attack, shocking to him. Nail says to Vegeta that he can rest. He'll deal with eliminating Dispo. As Nail and Dispo fight, Tarbell is just strong enough to knock Frost out, but Frost is able to shoot a laser, knocking him off the arena as well. Tien and Bardock are still watching from afar until Kami appears behind him. Kami says how there aren't many contestants left. If they help him with eliminating small contestants, they'll for sure win the amount of people left in their team. The time goes by as more and more contestants are eliminated, and at the end, Universe 7 is the winner. Now, who gets the Dragon Balls? Tien, Vegeta, Kami, Nail, or Bardock? I would say Kami, as him and Nail eliminated the most opponents, but Kami eliminated just a bit more. The Super Shenron is summoned by the Grand Priest. The size of the dragon shocks everyone. The Grand Priest asks Kami what his wish will be. Kami looks over at Kakarot and Granola smiling as he turns back around to the Grand Priest. He asks him to bring back all the universes. Luckily, that's exactly what Zeno and the Grand Priest were hoping for him to wish for. As Shin takes everyone home, Kakarot asks Whis to help him train to have full control under Ultra Ego. Vegeta asks Whis asks Vegeta if he and Tarbell want to join, but they both decline, saying they have nothing to control. They've been gone for too long. Kakarot asks Granola if he wants to join him, but Granola says maybe soon he will. He needs to check on his mom. Kakarot looks at Bardock as Shin is about to take him back to the other world. Kakarot thanks Bardock for joining them and saving the universe. Bardock smiles as he shoots Kakarot a thumbs up, disappearing with Shin. And with that, that's where we'll end off for this part. What do you guys think of this part? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, be sure to like the video and subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. And with that out of the way, I'll see you guys in the next part. Last time, Kakarot and the others participated in the Tournament of Power, with Kakarot unlocking Ultra Ego and eliminating Jiren. The rest was easy for them, but what will happen next? Welcome to part 12 of What If MONAITO Raised Kakarot. 5 months go by. Kakarot is back on Planet Vegeta, training Granola to help him catch up with him and Vegeta. Now, to clarify some things, the Broly movie of course wouldn't happen, with Vegeta having control over Frieza Force for a while now. But as you can tell by the thumbnail, we're going into the Moro arc. But in the manga, the arc happens 2 to 3 months after the Tournament of Power, not 5, but don't worry, I'll explain soon. As Kakarot and Granola are training, they hear MONAITO calling them. As they fly over to MONAITO, they notice someone behind him. It's Krillin, badly hurt as well. Kakarot and Granola haven't talked to Krillin a whole lot, but they still see him as a good friend. Then next to him also is Tarbell and Vegeta, both in bad shape. But then they notice someone with blue skin and white hair wearing some weird armor who explains everything. An old magician named Moro broke out 3 months ago. He went under the radar for a long time, until just recently he started to attack planets. First he attacked Earth and took all life from the planet, killing even Kami. Moro even went to Namek to make a wish with the Dragon Balls to be back to his prime age, then to also free everyone from the galactic prison. Then once he was done with Namek, he killed Nail and took the rest of the life on the planet. Whilst Moro was on his way to another planet, he encountered Vegeta and Tarbell who fought him. But with his magic, he was able to beat them with ease, until Vegeta showed off his new Ultra Ego. After the tormented power, Vegeta started training heavily, repeating Kakarot's exact training as well. Then, a month later went by to go see Beerus, who helped him unlock the form. Vegeta got the upper hand until Moro absorbed someone named 7-3, giving him the upper hand. He was even able to copy Vegeta's abilities, hence also giving him the ability to have his own version of Ultra Ego. Kakarot and Gorilla are shocked. How is someone this strong not noticed by them sooner? Have they seriously been that locked in on training? Beerus and Whis teleport in, saying they just came by to get some food from Planet Cereal, but then they see a lot of people there. Some damaged and some okay. Beerus and Whis know that the person who explained everything is Mirror's angel in training, but they don't say this out loud. Just his name. As Beerus and Whis are filled in on what's going on, Beerus starts to show annoyance. His training with Vegeta basically went nowhere. It was pointless. Kakarot asks Mirror's where Moro is now, to which he says nowhere near here, but is most likely on his way. The group starts to panic, realizing they need to get out of here, fast. As the group panic, Whis calls for Shin to stick by Beerus. He can't risk his life, since if Shin dies, so does Beerus. As Shin appears, he lets everyone know they can stay on his world for now until they're ready to face off Moro. As they all go to Shin's world, Whis tells them they need to train harder than they ever have, push beyond their limits, seek new power. That's when Kakarot interrupts with an idea. He's wanting to go back to his Saiyan roots, somehow use his Saiyan pride to help him exceed his limits. He looks over to Vegeta, wondering if he can help him to master Super Saiyan 4 and mix God Ki with the form to get his own version. As we go to Moro's perspective, he has his eyes closed, focused on trying to find another planet with Dragon Balls, stronger Dragon Balls, one that could give him immortality. That's when he senses a set, 2 Dragon Balls. Moro tells Cranberry to go north. He senses Dragon Balls. This of course being Planet Zero, but as soon as Moro senses the Dragon Balls, they disappear. We took the Dragon Balls and how come we can't sense the Dragon Balls anymore? Moro is showing anger, just flies straight out of the ship, exploding and killing Cranberry. Moro flies over to Planet Cereal himself. He's faster than the ship, even without using a ton of power. And as soon as Moro fully lands on the planet, he looks around. A city with a dome around it, destroyed city, and a single home on a hill. Moro angrily closes his eyes once again, trying to sense the Dragon Balls, but that's when he notices something. Someone is sensing his ki. As Moro looks in the direction, he feels someone sensing his ki. It disappears. Moro grins, finally figuring out he may have taken the Dragon Balls. Moro starts flying towards the direction, destroying the Planet Cereal behind him in anger. Monaito opens his eyes. He doesn't know if the Dragon Balls are on Planet Cereal, but he sensed Moro, who sensed them back. Kakarot and the others, worried, ask if he's coming this way, and as soon as they ask, Moro teleports in, shocking everyone, even Beerus. Moro grins, so these must be the ones who took his Dragon Balls. Gorilla, confused, says to Moro no, he's the one who took the Dragon Balls. Moro laughs, seeing that their act won't save their life. He can sense their ki, and it's delicious. Moro starts charging, his brown fur turning a dark purple alongside a purple aura. Even some skin under his eyes turn purple. The group starts shaking in fear. What is this power? His power even rivals Beerus himself. Kakarot then smirks, an opponent he doesn't need to hold back on anymore. Kakarot asks Shin if he can go all out, as Shin then says the world is very durable, so he can. Vegeta walks beside Kakarot, saying that they can go all out then. They both power up into Ultra Ego, getting into a battle stance. And then Gorilla also walks beside them, transforming into Ultra Cerealian. His ki isn't as high as Kakarot and Vegeta's, but they can use the extra hand. That's when Tarble walks beside Vegeta, transforming into Super Saiyan 4. After the tormented power, Vegeta told Tarble that he needs to continue training like a true Saiyan. So Vegeta helped Tarble unlock Super Saiyan 4. Then Krillin steps up also, powering up, but unfortunately not in a different form. Beerus and Whis watch from the side, with Beerus protecting Shin in case Moro tries to do anything tricky. As the fighters all charge in, Moro's aura starts to power up and send the fighters all back, who retaliate with their own ki blast. Kakarot and Vegeta both charge in his Ultra Ego, with charging their own Hakai. As they fire the Hakai towards Moro, he starts to charge his own Hakai and throws his own towards theirs. That's when Oatmeal detects something. Everyone's ki but Moro's is going down. What is he doing? As the Hakais explode, Kakarot and Vegeta are seen breathing for air as they power down. Kakarot to Super Saiyan Blue, and Vegeta to Extreme Apex, leaving the two shocked. What is Moro doing? That's when Moro reveals some of his magic. His magic abilities are incredible. He even has the ability to steal ki from others. That's when Kakarot powers down to Super Saiyan 4, along with Vegeta also powering down to Super Saiyan 4. Vegeta looks at Kakarot and Turtle. He smiles at them both, telling everyone to lend Kakarot his energy. He'll hold Moro off. Kakarot then comments on the fact that Vegeta isn't even an Ultra Ego. Even then, they barely stood a chance, which makes him think he can hold Moro off and just make regular Super Saiyan 4. Vegeta tells Kakarot not to worry about him. He'll be fine. Vegeta then charges into Moro, headbutting him, catching Moro off guard a little bit. Kakarot then goes back to the other fighters, telling them to lend energy. But how? How do they lend Kakarot ki? That's when Kakarot just tells him to charge the ki around him and channel the ki towards him. Vegeta keeps trying to fend off Moro, but Moro's just toying with him at this point. Moro isn't even fighting back anymore. He's just dodging all Vegeta's attacks. Kakarot's just watching in shock. Vegeta, the guy who's the most egotistical Saiyan, friend, ally, and strong warrior, is possibly sacrificing his life to save the multiverse. That's when Moro decides he's had enough toying with Vegeta, as Moro then pierces his hand straight through Vegeta's stomach, leaving everyone shocked. Tarble, angered, powers up to Super Saiyan 4. Charging towards Moro, he easily shoots a ki beam through his heart, killing him instantly. Kakarot, Granola, and Krillin are left speechless. What do they do now? Granola tells Kakarot to keep charging his ki. He can deal with Moro for now. He charges in towards Moro, but starts shooting vital points, knocking Moro to the ground, catching him off guard a little bit. Kakarot looks at Krillin, who nods at him, charging to his max. Kakarot can tell he's close to something new. That's when it clicks. He looks at Beerus, who rolls his eyes as he then nods at him. Kakarot smirks as he powers down to Super Saiyan 4 and starts charging his ki to the max. His aura starts to turn purple, then a more pinkish aura. His hair starts to slightly turn pink as well, but he knows he needs to keep charging up to maintain the form long enough. That's when he looks back at Gorilla, who's being beaten to a pulp. Moro knocks him to the ground as he puts his hand around his neck, taking his red eye ability. Moro then looks over at Kakarot, shocked at its power. What is this form? Kakarot calls it Super Saiyan 4 Ego Breaker, as he roars, powering up with his aura expanding. Moro is shocked and a little bit concerned, but he's also glad. If he can get Kakarot's power, even Beerus won't be able to stop him. Moro charges up to his max, shocking everyone. The two stare each other down, smirking. This is the battle to save the multiverse. The two charge toward each other, clashing fists, shaking the entire planet, even space itself. Even Beerus is shocked at Kakarot's power and how impeccable it is. But Moro isn't showing any fatigue at all. While Kakarot's power is incredible, Moro's is just the same. The two are dead even. It just matters on who can stay up fighting the longest. Granola wakes up next to Whis and Maris, who saved him and healed him back up. As he thanks the two, he feels Kakarot's ki. It's so menacing yet, he isn't even scared. He used to be scared of the Saiyans long ago, but ever since he met Kakarot and grew up with him, it's like Kakarot is his own family now. Granola no longer feels fear or hatred towards the Saiyans, even ones that did him wrong long ago. Granola asks the two if they think Kakarot can win this, but the two simply just say to watch the fight continue out. As Kakarot and Moro keep clashing, Moro comments on the fact that even if they are even, he has the upper hand in magic, as he starts to morph the planet to help them out, catching Kakarot off guard. Kakarot smirks. Yeah, he may have the upper hand in magic, but he doesn't have the upper hand in battle IQ, as he then teleports behind Moro, knocking him to the ground to then grab his arm with his tail and throw Moro into the sky to then shoot multiple ki blasts at him. Moro angrily takes him head on, being caught off guard, as he then retaliates with more magic, now using multiple guys to fire at Kakarot, who dodges them as he kicks Moro to the ground. Moro gets up, infuriated beyond belief. How's the Saiyan keeping up with him, beating him in a fight? Kakarot glides to the ground. Moro stands firmly looking at him. Moro asks Kakarot if he thinks doing all this will save his life at all. Does he think he's going to go to heaven? Kakarot laughs and says he made it himself long ago that he'll surely be going to hell. It just doesn't seem right for a Saiyan to go to heaven anyways. But even so, he's different. He's not like the other Saiyans. He's a Saiyan that grew up on a different planet, learned from different people. Kakarot then dashes towards Moro, gut punching him, knocking Moro out of his own Ultra Ego transformation. Kakarot admires Moro's strength, but he can tell Moro hasn't trained enough in that form. Has he even trained at all? Moro keeps trying to fight back, but with him now being in space, Kakarot dodges his attacks easier. Kakarot kicks him to the ground, asking what he plans to do if Kakarot spares his life. shocking everyone. Is Kakarot serious? He wants to spare this guy? Kill Vegeta and Tarble. Kakarot admits he is infuriated by him killing the two, but he can bring them back to life once they find the Dragon Balls that Monaito made. Moro admits that he won't change. He'll keep being an evil magician, taking life from every planet in the universe to then be able to conquer the multiverse. That's all the evidence Kakarot needed. Kakarot lifts up a hand in Moro's face, killing Moro once and for all. Kakarot doesn't even smile at killing Moro. He's a strong opponent. He wished could turn a new leaf, maybe be a new ally. But in the end, he wasn't like Vegeta, who was able to become an ally. Kakarot powers back down to base as Granola and Monaito run to Kakarot, congratulating him. But Kakarot says they're not done yet. Monaito's Dragon Balls went missing. Where could they be? That's when Kakarot senses something. A strong power somewhere out in space. And it feels familiar. Is that gas? But how? How do you get so strong out of nowhere? They need to find out quickly. Kakarot asks Shin if he can take him to gas, to which Shin reluctantly agrees. As Granola is about to join, Kakarot tells him to stay on this planet. Gas feels stronger than even Moro, by a long shot. Kakarot says he wants to do this on his own, finally stopping the haters once and for all. Shin teleports him, Kakarot, and Beerus away, as Beerus wants to keep an eye on Shin and protect him if anything happens. And with that, that's what we'll end off for this part. What do you guys think of this part? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, be sure to like the video and subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. And with that out of the way, I'll see you guys in the next part.